What's up, everybody? Welcome back to your favorite wrestling podcast. It is the Monday Night Wav, baby. And we back. We back with another one of the things. I think we're on episode 27, so we're moving right along. I go by Jay, the babyface's babyface, your mother's favorite babyface. You know, one half of this illustrious podcast, the producer of the group. But without further ado, you know what time it is. It's time for me to pass it off to my boy, the one, the only, Mr. Heroic. Take it away from here.
You know, he is known as a wild card from time to time. The whole planet calls him the King of Gorgeous. And the rumor has it he is also Mr. Sexy Ass Lottery. He is Hero and I am he. Welcome back to the Monday Night Wav, baby.
All right.
Deafening
silence. Deafening silence. But that's okay. We miscommunicated. I would like to let everyone know, that the OTC is back. The other co-host. Yes, that's right. You may have heard this familiar voice from episode 3, way back when. But I'm back now. We're equipped. We're ready to go. And I will have that lovely Roman Reigns schedule. I'll be here bi-weekly.
Yes.
Yes, he definitely has the Roman Reigns schedule, people. Welcome back, DT, to the pod. It has been a minute, and we are definitely happy to have you back.
Appreciate it.
Put your ones in the air. Acknowledge your tribal chief.
Yes, sir.
Before we get into this week, we're going to jump into the news for this week. Very short, not a lot to talk about here, but, we're going to kick it off with Smackdown. So we found out that Smackdown will be going to 3 hours. Was it beginning of the year? Was that the date that they had said?
Yeah, I want to say it was January to the June, or no?
I thought like it was January. They're going to go 3 hours in USA, and then it also came out that it's only temporary because I believe was it like later in like that summer is going back to 2 hours, something like that. Like
June
2025.
Yeah, we'll go back to So 6 months. So it's gonna be 3 hours for 6 months, essentially.
Okay. So like I think DT said in the chat, it sounds like for the Mania kickoff, everything's gonna be 3 hours, and then once we hit into the summer, it's gonna drop back down to 2. Personally, we didn't talk about it before. Yeah, 2 hour wrestling shows is perfect for me. 3 hour shows, and I'm not mad at it because we're already dealing with it as is. But I'm cool with that. A temporary 3 hour, 6 months isn't gonna hurt me at all. Well, how do y'all feel?
I mean, for me, it's just like I don't know how many of those months both shows are going to be 3 hours. So then just WWE alone is 8 hours, and then if you include all of AEW, and then even at TNA, like we're talking about like 14 hours of wrestling a week, depending on how dedicated you are. So, I mean, that is cool, but depending on how dedicated you are, that might be exhausting. Who knows? But no, I think it's fine. My biggest question is if they bump up this, like if SmackDown starts an hour earlier so that it ends similar to Raw, or because Raw ends at 11 also. So yeah, I'm just curious if they keep it 11 on a Friday. It wouldn't be a bad thing. I'm neutral on it. I don't really do shit like Fridays are my work nights, so I don't be out like that. But I know, not every wrestling fan is a home dweller and shit, so, maybe niggas want to go out. But then again, you got the DVR, I guess. So.
That's true. Speaking of DVR, we're going to talk about it real quick. That maybe we did talk about it last week, but they're also removing, like, the Hulu content, too, right? So, like...
Yeah.
Now that, like, with this... schedule changing, or not schedule, but like Raw going to Netflix, they're also in their deal with like Fox, of course. So the Hulu content is just about to disappear, which is a lot of ways that people do watch these shows and whatnot. So that is going to be very interesting.
And Peacock stuff is going to be eventually disappearing as well. I believe.
Yeah, and that one I'm not paying for pay-per-views. Like I'm keeping it a buck.
They'll probably
how can I say it?
They'll probably
go to Netflix, Yeah, but I'm not I don't know. I don't know if I got the 50, 60 like every month. Like that's kind of crazy.
I mean, right now, as it stands, I'll be paying $40 for Sling TV, since they're taking it off of Hulu. So I'm gonna have to reallocate some of my Hulu funds to the Sling account. So,
and there's nothing wrong with that. At least like you found like an alternative, because some people ain't got that.
Yeah,
some people is just SOL.
And then my question is, do we keep like not we as in the three of us, but like, do you keep Peacock? Because honestly,
probably
Peacock
not.
like it just started getting sort of kind of good with its content, but the interface or the face still sucks. Like the system kind of still sucks. Like unless besides
You
for
know why you're gonna
football,
keep it?
every
It's
once in a
just
blue moon.
football. It's just
But that's like every other game. That's that's if you're not at home for a Sunday night game. I don't know. It's something to think about for sure because people could save that like $12-$14.
For sure. This past summer, Peacock got carried by the Olympics, so
that was
that's where
great
most
time.
of their traffic was at. So
and that was the best time that was the best time I enjoyed Peacock was
that was because
of the Olympics. So that might be something to pick up every 4 years / every September to February.
Every once in a while, I'll sit back here and watch some Yellowstone, think about my life as a rancher.
Oh yeah, it's a good show.
real quick, I just wanted to add about the SmackDown. I think SmackDown going to 3 hours, Raw being at 3 hours. I think it speaks to the wrestling business itself and where everything is at and how hot it is. There's so many characters to flush out. There's so many storylines that they're trying to give time to, and I think it's a great thing. So, 8 hours. Don't know if I'm gonna be watching 8 hours of WWE, but definitely. I think it's gonna be good for wrestling as a whole.
For sure, it's gonna be tough. Like I'll tell you, for somebody who's watching damn near 8 to 12 hours wrestling a week, it's a lot, nigga. You were dreaming about elbow drop? I have. Bet. Let's get into the next segment real quick. It came out that that Miro was asking for his release. And the last that I've heard of Miro was that he had went overseas and was just staying home in Bulgaria, I believe, and he was not being used in AEW at all.
Quick timeline. A quick timeline, if I remember correctly. So I don't remember if it was like a Grand Slam or something, but he was supposed to be in a Meat Madness match.
Right.
It was
with
supposed
Hobbs.
to be him, Hobbs, and maybe somebody else. And then all of a sudden he was pulled, and no one was like, everyone was confused. And then like he responded to some people on Twitter saying pretty much was like, "Well, it's not my fault. I was booked while I was hurt," or something like that. Then fast forward a little bit, the news about his divorce comes out with Lana, or that they're going to separate, they're going to get divorced. And then he like randomly just flies to Bulgaria, and he pulls an Aaron Rodgers where he's hiding in a cave doing ayahuasca. And then I don't know if that part is true, but then fast forward, and then literally like I want to say it was like 2 weeks ago, it was randomly like, "Oh, Miro's back in the United States." And I was like, okay. And then now it's like, I want to get released. So if I'm correct, that is like the quick timeline of like his last year or so in the company.
And there's been also like rumors of him turning down storylines, of not wanting to do certain things. I don't know. I can't speak to any of that until somebody with higher knowledge than me can come out and like speak on it. But I don't know. So I guess like the question I'm asking is, if he does leave AEW, does that open the door for his WWE return, right? That's the question everybody wants to know. But from my personal thought process is that we don't have enough like stock. Like, if you want Miro, what is it about him that you want? I know, for example, when we saw Stephanie Vacker, it's like, okay, the match with Mercedes was a good fucking match. I want you to come over here. Julie's been fucking killing over there in Japan. Like, what about Miro is like, damn, we want him back, a la Cody Rhodes. Cody's killing in AEW. Is like, yo, we could really use that over here. Like, so how do you feel about that? Like, does he come back? Would you want him to come back?
Okay, so his stock isn't crazy high. I don't know, like, what his like is he a Triple H guy? That remains to be seen. Like, maybe Triple H super fucked with him heavy, before he left. maybe not. So I guess So his stock is not that high, but like his run as when he was doing the Redeemer run in AEW, it was a good glimpse of it was a good glimpse of the potential that the dude has, and he has a lot of potential. Like when I first got into it, he was like super crazy Bulgarian Russian Rusev, and he showed up in WrestleMania in a fucking tank, and I was like, oh, I like this guy. He's in a fucking tank. That's awesome. Like he has potential, but if like let's say the rumors are true of him not wanting to do jobs and all this other stuff, then it like if that is true, and I'm in the backstage of any company, it's like, well, do I want to hire someone who's not going to be good to work with? Like it's wrestling. You have to do jobs. Sometimes you got to lose to such and such. But I mean, who knows if those stories are true? That could just be people just trying to like throw shade on him since he wants to leave or something like that. Trying to dirt sheet type shit. So
right.
If I'm the E, I don't know. I'd be semi interested, but it's really like what your worth ethic is, because you're not going to come back like you're not taking Roman's spot, you're not going to take Cody's spot, you're not taking Seth's spot, you're not taking Drew's spot. There's a lot of spots you're not taking. So like you're gonna have to be okay with the mid card, my nigga, or you might have to be okay with being in a tag team. And if you're not, you might go to NXT or fuck it, we won't sign you type of thing. Maybe, who knows?
And I think they said that his contract was like until like 2026. Like he has like a crazy like time on his contract. Like, I mean,
and Tony he'll pay them. So like it's either he'll work, Tony will either release him, which he hasn't ever released anyone yet, because we thought that might have happened with Ray Phoenix 2 days ago, but that was obviously debunked. So he's never
he released Regal. Like Regal got out of his contract.
Well, I would okay.
You mean like
as far as active talent, like actual in-ring competitors, he has yet to release anyone.
Yeah.
So he could release Miro, or it's like you just pay him and he just sits home, or you try to find something that you guys can agree on to do. But it seems like that's not happening. Otherwise, there's no reason for him to not be on TV. The only other thing is though, like, and this is just a random other conversation, but TK has a hard time booking big guys. Like if you look at Hobbs, Wardlow, Miro, Lance Archer, like he has a hard time booking big guys. And I feel like, I don't know, who knows what Miro's thought process is. Maybe he's fed up with the booking process on TK's end. Who knows? I don't know. It just sounds like a bunch of drama.
Yeah, and I feel like wrestling in a whole has an issue like booking big guys, because the same could be said about like like Omos. Like Omos is fucking huge, and he was big on WWE. He was tag team champion. I don't know what it is about big guys in general, but
Vince was probably the best. But also on the same coin with granted Omos, we haven't seen him in forever, but we also still got like Braun Strowman and Bronson Reed doing good shit.
Yep,
it's true.
So,
but and maybe that's not
to say that's not to say the E's going to do immensely better. Like again, we don't know if he's a Triple H guy. We don't know if the rumors are true. If he's like, if he's just being a snob and not wanting to work with a certain talent and do certain jobs and put people over, it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard to fit in this new ecosystem, because there's a lot of people that need to be put over. Like Carmelo Hayes, Grayson Waller. Like there's other talent, like younger talent that need to be put over. So like if we hire you, you got to be able to do the job, my nigga. Yeah, so it's like you go like, because again, you're not like there's like 12 spots. He ain't replacing not a single one of them. So
and which is why I think and honestly, it might be better for you to just stick with it through AEW, to where like if you can get time on screen, take the time on screen, because coming to WWE, like you said, is like, bro, we got some shit back here. Not to mention we got Trick Willie over here about to slide up. Like
they still got a bunch of NXT people. They do plan to sign the Lucha Bros. It sounds like they got Motor City Machine Guns. So it's like Roman's back. Like we're gonna have a Cena run this whole next year. I forgot about that. Yeah, it's like nigga, we kind of packed out over here. So it's like, so you better be willing to go to NXT for a couple months, but nigga, like or something.
Yeah, I don't know. Got Charlotte back. Like there's a lot of like people that's ready to come back, or not ready, but like they will have spots for them when they're ready.
And that's with an extra hour of SmackDown for 6 months.
That's what I'm saying, bro. That's an extra hour still with ads. So you only get maybe like an extra 45, 30 minutes. Like, let's keep it a buck, bro.
That's one Bloodline segment. Honestly, that's perfect.
It literally.
That's not even trying to be a joke. Like that's literally like the Rock sing along. That was like 40 minutes. Like the Court of Sammy. That was like 40 minutes. So that extra hour. That's guaranteed a Roman Bloodline segment. That way, everyone else can still get a match. We can still get 2, maybe 3 women matches, 2 tag matches.
So what you're saying is that they're going to 3 hours so that the Bloodline won't take up the entire show anymore. Like, here you go, your extra hour. Show out so they can have their own. That's crazy.
I have a theory that they might go to Raw, honestly, but that's a theory. I'm not really ready to share it.
Okay, side tangent before we get into the show. Do you consider like the Bloodline shit a vortex? Like, I know we joke about Jericho and his vortex. Do we think like the Bloodline is also a vortex? Can you say that?
I'm gonna
yes
say
and
no.
No. I say yes and no.
I'm gonna say no, and the only reason why I'm gonna say no, and I know why. I have an idea why he would say yes. I'm gonna say no because most of, if not all of the people that get caught in the vortex, if you will, have all gotten pushed up or gotten a push, or now they're main players on their roster. So that's why I would say no. But I can see somebody like Kevin Owens be like, "Dog, this is a vortex. I'm gonna get my ass beat every week by the same 3 niggas every week." So Randy been fighting for 4 years. Street Profits can't get a tag team dub. Every time they turn around, they're getting hit over the head with something. So yes, I can see the yes, but I would say no only because for the most part it's been beneficial for a lot of people.
It's a main event vortex. Like if you inside this Bloodline vortex, you always gonna be closing the show. You're inside the pay-per-views in some form or fashion. So it's very much a more positive vortex than the Jericho vortex. Yes.
Yeah. That's why I say yes to no. Like for those exact reasons that DT gave, though. Like it's literally like you will be trapped maybe for 4 years.
Hey, okay.
You might be trapped. You might get a title. You might get a title run, and
20 days.
Or something. Maybe 78, 20. A good month, maybe. But then you go
sales.
Yeah, then you go rotate back.
Yeah, you're gonna get some merch sales for sure.
But you leave the feud, even though it's temporary. You leave the feud coming up better. Like with Jericho's stuff, like you can take it back. You can go all the way back to the Inner Circle. You can go back to the Jericho Appreciation Society. Besides MJF and maybe Orange Cassidy, like no one he's ever been in a feud with has came out better on the other end.
So, Hero, you would say no one has learned from the learning tree?
Yeah. Hi, guys. No one's learning. It's because he's a damn incubus, actually, because he's a male, but who knows?
So, just going to clarify real quick. Bloodline Vortex, money and merch, pay-per-views. You might be trapped for 4 years, but you paid.
Look what it did for Jay.
I like it.
Look what it did for
I like it. You're right.
I would say
Sammy shot up, yeah.
The learning tree is more like a whirlpool, and the Bloodline stuff is like the wave pool. It's like you like the wave
trapped
pool.
for 4 years is crazy. That's a crazy thing to say, bro.
But if you think about it, they brought distant cousins from different promotions.
But that's what I'm saying. It's a vortex
every week,
nigga. It's like when you think it's going to end, another cousin pop out. It's like this shit ain't never gonna stop.
No,
another
cousin. That nigga, he's not lying. You see, this ring's in my ring. My camera. He's not lying, bro.
We all saw that damn PowerPoint The Rock gave us with that big ass tree, bro.
Hey, bro.
The tree was so big you couldn't even read some of the names, bro. No wonder why they keep popping up every week on Twitter. Oh, Rikishi's new son, his hidden daughter. Like, nigga, what?
Bruh. Hey, Kishi got a son right now playing left tackle for Notre Dame, and he's 6'5", 280, and he a sophomore.
You think said 6'5", 280? God damn.
Yeah, bro.
Okay.
He'll be at the Bloodline in 5 years.
That nigga tapping in right now like, Coach, if I don't get paid, I'm going over here. They got NIL money in WWE now. All right.
Go ahead. I'll kill the joke later.
We gonna jump into Raw. Raw was in Portland this week. You two went out and checked it out.
That
was live in the building for sure. Before we talk about the show itself, we gotta talk about the crowd. I heard it was stinking in there.
Oh my god! I heard somebody
bring this up. I had to. I told him I was.
Yeah, he did. You go first, DT.
I'm gonna go first. Please.
Let's try to keep it light, because honestly, this could be the whole pod. This motherfucker smells so
bad. Hey. How I'm gonna keep it light when he smells so heavy?
Shit.
So we get into the arena, we file in, we get our seats. You know what I'm saying? I'm sitting next to Hero sitting next to M. We chilling, and I'm watching the show, enjoying it, and all of a sudden they start complaining about a smell. I'm like, they tripping. I don't smell nothing. I'm Gucci. You know what I'm saying? I'm good. Well, this one dude keeps standing up and sitting down. After about 20 minutes, 5 minutes into the show starting, right? Because they do the main event, they do the little pre-show, all of that. A strong gust of updraft come from this dude. Mind you, he's a row in front of us and like 3 seats closer to the entrance to where the Titantron. And he keep getting up and sitting down, waving his arms. I have never smelled something so disgusting in my life. I just want to say this, and I'm going to pass it to Hero. Y'all out there that are listening to this wonderful podcast, do yourself a favor. Do the rest of the world a favor. Before you go out in public, just do a check. You know what I'm saying? Sniff one pit, the other one, maybe wash your ass a little bit. Because that was horrendous. That was horrendous.
It's still a show, people. Y'all, like, deodorant is a thing, man. Common courtesy for your people you sitting next to.
And
I told this nigga, that's why I be buying the extra seat. I'll buy the seat next to me.
Hey, that wouldn't have helped though. That's what was fucked up, because he was in front of us, and so he was like 3 to 4 seats to my right. Yes. So in David's DT is sitting next to me on my left, and M is on my right, and the way that the wind is circulating in the stadium, it's blowing in our direction. So there's nothing that we can do. And he keeps raising his arms, and then he stands up. So it's like if you stood up and he's standing up, you're getting hit even worse. You get hit with it sitting down, and it's one of those smells that you can't get used to it. You know, like if you've been on a long drive in the country, and you smell the cow ponds, and after 3 minutes, you kind of get used to it. There was no getting used to this guy's smell for 3 hours and some change. Like every 40 seconds, you're being hit with oh my god! It's just like every 40 seconds. It was so bad.
It was like having the windows open and you driving into the north on Lombard.
That's nasty, bro. That's crazy. I know what that is.
Over and over.
Oh yeah, the trash.
Oh my god.
You said, "Oh no, I know y'all must have hated when Jey Uso came out. That nigga was yeeting. It was just draft, nigga. Just made it Jey Uso. Yeet."
It got so bad. I wanted to bring this up. My man Hero. If he don't have nothing else, he has a utility bag, not a utility belt. He has a utility bag. Any and everything you could ever need is in this bag. It got so bad. I tapped him on the shoulder. I said, I know you got some hand sanitizer. So let me go ahead and get that. I poured it on my hands, rubbed it, and just covered my nose. I singed my nose hairs, burnt my nose all up. But I would rather have the pain of burning my nose than to smell that.
It was that Bath and Body Works hand sanitizer, so it smelled real good. It smelled good. All 3 of us put it on to where people were sitting behind us, because everyone smelled this dude. Like he had an AOE attack.
It wasn't just y'all.
It was
Nigga was taking poison tick damage.
He had a radius damage effect, bro. Like it was a poison damage effect that was like it hit a certain mile radius. And yeah, they were like, "Damn, did you spray Febreze?" I was like, "No, this is just a hand sanitizer."
Hey, they were so happy when they smelled the hand sanitizer. They were thanking us and shit. It got so bad. I had to buy a $10 pizza just to sniff it.
Yeah. Quick spoiler alert: like the Bianca Io match, it wasn't just the best match because it was the best match. It was also the best match because he wasn't there for that entire fucking match, and it was the only time we had oxygen. It was the only time. So not only was it really just a really good ass TV match, but it was like the only time of peace.
We can breathe. This is great.
Yeah.
That's funny. That nigga was hitting the whole section with fear toxin.
Oh my god,
that's great.
If you would have had thermal vision, that whole section was peak red. Peak red. It was so bad.
Goddamn. All right, let's get into the show. Like we said before, Raw was in Portland this week. It kicks off with CM Punk. Cult of Personality kicks off the show. He lays out a pretty solid, promo. A little pretty aggressive here. Talking about I got a lot of matches left in me. And tells Drew prepared for this to be the end of CM Punk because you're gonna have to kill me. You have to take me out to finish this off.
Mm-hmm.
How do y'all feel about this? Like the feud with Drew and Punk. We're going into what? This is the third matchup for them. Like, how do we feel about Drew Punk 3? Like, what's the energy in the room?
Hero, go ahead. I'll follow up after you.
I'm hyped for it. I thought it was a really good promo. It was really serious. It wasn't a it's time to, isn't it great to be alive in Portland, Oregon? Although I would have popped for that. But it was really serious. The language, it's something that I picked up listening to other people was like, usually in WWE they don't use words like kill and shit like that.
Mm-mm.
So hearing some couple, he used two or three different words that you don't typically hear in a WWE promo. So that was not jarring, but it piqued my ears. It's it made it feel more serious when it already was serious. As much you hate him or love him, I'm not the hugest fan, but Punk, he's a masterful on the mic, and he can get you in the field, and he can get you in that story. And I thought it was a good way to start off. It was a good way to start off Raw. It was short and sweet to me. Wasn't too long, and he wasn't just babbling. He had a point. He got to the point. The part where he's like, I got a lot of matches in me, but I have 0 Hell in a Cell matches in me. Saying admitting that, it gave a realness to it, which is what makes you attached to wrestling characters. When they be real, when Dusty cut the the American Dream promo and shit like that. So yeah, I enjoyed it. I think the Bad Blood is going to be. The card is fire. I thought Bash Blurrin was heat. This should be absolute fucking heat. Right, it almost looks like a B pay-per-view. This card is heat for 5 matches, and yeah, I think this is going to be a great hope end. This is the rubber match, so hopefully it's the end. But I think it should be good.
A couple things. One, kind of piggyback off of your CM Punk take about how he makes you feel. I have reserved my feelings about CM Punk now for a year or so, almost coming up to the date, because I was curious. I wasn't watching when he was around, so I was curious to kind of get to know his character and who he was, and to see why people are so enamored with him. But I will say over this last year, he has earned a fan. He has. I'm really, especially when he's talking on the mic. Obviously, he's only had a couple matches. But his ability to draw you in, storytell, and like Hero said, kind of keep it real, that really drew me in. I was really, really hoping that Drew McIntyre was under the ring. I was saying that before we even started the show, and me and Hero bumped into some people, and they're like, yeah, he's not going to be there, but I still held out hope. But this was a great promo. he set the temperature with his tonality. Let us know how serious it was. I don't think that this match makes it the end. I think they'll bump into each other again.
Then this is going to be my follow-up question: is that if this is the end, where do you want this? Where do you see him going? We've already talked about before on the pod that, like, the next feud obviously would be Seth Rollins, but we don't know when Seth will be ready to come back. If he's ready to come back, although I do think Seth is probably cooking sometime. Survivor Season just around the corner. Who knows? And if Seth doesn't come back, I would like to see CM Punk as one of the challengers for John Cena. I think we could run that for sure.
Yep.
Yeah, apparently, I don't know how accurate the news is. Apparently, he turned in his wish list of people he wants to for sure to work with, if possible. Cena. Or whatever. But to answer that question real quick, or what you just said, I think this is going, because usually before Hell in a Cells became a hoard out gimmick match to where it had its own pay-per-view every year. It usually was the blow off for the feud. So this should be the blow off to their feud for at least until they see each other in the Rumble or some shit, and they reignite it for a little bit. But this should be the blow off. As far as where Punk goes, I would like to see him, like, a brief feud with Braun Breaker would be nice, because they're boys behind the back. That. Braun mentioned a couple times that Punk has been really helpful behind the scenes. A quick feud with Gunther. Gunther needs more notches on his belt in his defense. A one-off, maybe two pay-per-view. There's stuff to do to kill time until Seth gets healed, if that is going to be the Mania program. That would be my two choices. Like, have a quick feud with Braun Breaker, have him elevate Breaker, and have him and Gunther. Man, I want to. That's some words I want to hear. I want to hear what Gunther has to say about Punk.
Whoa. Yeah.
Do you
it's going to get real in there.
Do you think that the impact of that CM Punk will be able to survive the impact of Gunther's chops? And I know Gunther is safe. That's an
even better question.
I know he's safe in the ring and he takes care of people, but he be beating the shit out of everybody. Like, it don't matter who it is.
Shit, nigga, was it the last pay-per-view? He done slapped the sweat off Randy Orton's back. Ooh. That shit was crazy.
Off the back of his neck.
He almost beat Jay's tattoo off his chest. That shit is wild.
Yeah. Punk taking a Gunther chop is going to be nuts. I
mean, didn't he fight Penta once in AEW at least? Because Penta hits hard.
I gotta check that. Penta do got some crazy fucking chops too.
Gunther said Penta's chopped him the hardest out of anybody.
It's nuts. Yeah. Penta got some shit, bro, for sure.
Yeah, because the way Gunther chopped, I know that shit hurt. I would like to see Drew go over in this. I know it's probably not going to happen, but I still don't feel like Drew is in the wrong in any of this. I know he's done some shit to cross the line for sure. But I think from the genesis of all of this, I don't think that Drew is in the wrong. And I had the same idea as y'all as far as like Cena. Maybe they get a second opportunity to like make that right, if you will. But yeah, that's The Rock again.
It's a possibility. Yeah, anything's possible. You know, he out there watching from somewhere. He's tapped in. All right. It looks like next segment, well, actually the first match of the show was Sheamus versus Butch, and I don't know if y'all saw what I saw, but this looked like a pretty good fucking match to me.
Man, it was
Pete Dunne. Pete Dunne.
Bad.
Bro.
Pete. My bad. Butch.
I was real quick before we hop into it. He cuts the promo backstage. I'm sitting next to Hero, and I'm like, yo, he is training an entire audience to call this man by his dead name, and I just left it at that.
Yeah, it's very un-PC, like. Supposed to be allies out here. Man, no, heater. Like, I mean, I already knew this match was gonna be heater. The right person won. I'll say that. Man, yeah, no, it was a good match. It was a good match. I could have did without the shillelagh and the cricket bat,
I
but
was going to
then
ask about that.
again, Pete is a smaller opponent. I mean, he does have some accolades, but not as much as Sheamus. And I mean, it's also just fucking Sheamus. So, um, it's still a win. Not the cleanest win, but it's still a win, and it was a good win. And used the bro kick on him. Like, that shit is fire.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was fine with it. I thought it was a really good match. It's a good follow up to Punk's dramatic opener with a banger classic. Or
Right.
I'm not going to call it a classic, but a banger ass match.
It was
yeah, which is a very aggressive match.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was gonna ask about like the ending because like the match ends where Pete grabs the shillelagh, attempts to hit Sheamus with the shillelagh, and then ref catches him and he brings the cricket bat and he gets a roll up, I believe, and he gets the win on Sheamus.
He hits a bro kick.
Mm-hmm.
Was it bro kick?
Yeah,
he hits a kick. I don't think the announcers called it a bro kick, but it was a bro kick essentially. It was a pump. What do you call it? A pump. Big boot or whatever. Pump.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So other than the finish, like I thought it was a great match. I did enjoy watching this match. I thought this was really cool. Next up on the list, we get a quick little segment from Woods addressing everybody backstage that he wants to go at this alone. He wants to go at the tag team champions without the help from the Judgment Day. He doesn't want no interference. He wants to do it by himself. Mm-hmm. And it seems like Priest respects it. Priest like, yeah, we got you. Like, we're not going to like interfere in your match. Go ahead, knock it. Go ahead, do your thing. Cool. Spark note that. We're going to come back to that. We get Nat versus Zoe Stark. This is Nat's second match since being back because they did Calgary last week. What did y'all make of it? Y'all was there live. What's the temp in the room?
PFC, man, they still got no fucking aura, bro. Like they just. I mean, they're three. I mean, for me, I mean, I was throwing my Z's up because I mean, Stark House in this, Stark House in this bitch. You know what I'm saying? I feel weird, Mr. Stark. You know what it is. Bless you. But I was happy.
Sneeze?
I don't know. I was guessing.
Oh. Wait,
y'all can't see. It's an audio. It's an audio medium. Y'all can't see this. But I thought the match was cool. Wait, who won that one?
Was it Natty
yeah,
won.
Okay.
Roll ups.
Yeah, she went on a roll up if I remember right. Zoe Stark, physically impressive. I have no problems with her in the ring. But yeah, no, PFC just not doing it. Pure Fusion Collection.
It's a terrible name.
Yeah, they gotta switch that. I know it's not PC, but I'm down with the stud line. They gotta do something. Like they gotta. They gotta do something.
My first note when I was watching the match, I was like, is Lyra injured? Because Lyra had a lot of momentum coming in, especially having like I believe her matches with like Becky, or not having matches with Becky, but being next to Becky. And I was like, why are they not using Lyra? Because I think she's probably the most interesting wrestler out of this whole like segment that's just not being used
she's
right now.
Yeah, she's doing something in NXT right now, and originally she was with the Rave Girls, but Casey got her nose broken, so. And I guess they didn't want to pair Lyra with Damage Control. So, yeah, right now she's helping out in NXT, I guess. So,
yeah. All right.
Yeah.
We get a Finn and Rhea promo. Finn over here letting her have it. We got you acted like you cared. In reality, you only cared about yourself. You and Damian are the reason why I'm not world champion. And on top of that, I told Dom to forget about you.
Okay.
I was the one that told her to freak on her. I told him to goon.
Is Finn wrong?
Not entirely.
Stop him when he's wrong.
He's barring up.
He's not entirely. No, he's barring up. He's barring up. But and I hate that. I hate that it has to come to this because like I've seen so many like Stan accounts. Who's like a Stan account made an entire thread of all the random times Rhea like helped out Finn or something like that. It's like, you guys, it's a TV show, take that serious. But he's not entirely wrong. But she never technically had anything to do with Damian fucking up. It was mostly Damian. But Rhea did think a lot about herself. But at the same time, that's mommy.
Niggas give her just the utmost freedom.
Oh, of course. Of course. She get all the mulligans.
All of them.
All the respawns.
We then get
she deserves every receipt she gets. I hope Raquel comes back and give her a receipt too. She deserves it. But it's also mommy.
We get Jey Uso. Jey enters this little segment real quick. Yeet.
Yeet.
And I think Finn says something to the effect of like, you might need to focus on the IC championship while you over here in our business. And I'm like,
because you're out of your league.
Finn was right. But that he might need to focus on the IC championship, bro. Like,
yeah.
Like, go.
But she ain't out of his league though. That's the Yeet man. That's the Yeet master.
Man, don't let Rikishi hear you, bro. He's probably freaking out right now.
Man.
Nope, not doing it. Next segment. Nope. We get Jay's promo. Next segment. We're not doing it. Jay comes out. He says he's finally on his own and away from the bloodline. Jay's getting his shit off, right? He's talking to everybody like, yo, you got to respect who I am right now. I've been thugging solo for a minute and enter Braun Breaker. Man, so you've been for 14 years. Because I've done more in 6 months than you have in your own career. I was like, oof.
Yeah, that's tough.
Shit. I mean,
that's tough.
I'm trying to think that, like, did Jay get it? He ain't had no solo titles. Not a single.
Nope.
No, he's trying. His brother Scoot might have a couple. But he is the longest reigning tag team champion and like has the second or most tag team reigns. You know what I'm saying? It's not like he don't be doing nothing.
It's true.
You know
you ain't got one single belt. I got one in 6 months. I was like, fuck. That nigga's barring up. You're right. He said he didn't need his father, his uncle, or his family's help. I didn't need the name. Mm-hmm. I'm like, damn, once again, barring up. He's not lying.
He's not lying.
He says next Monday when we fight, I'm going to expose you. Because you nothing without your family.
I think that's foreshadowing.
Oh, I think so too.
It could be.
Yeah.
It could be. It could be. It could very much be. I still think there's a red herring, but we'll get into it when we talk about SmackDown though. But yeah, Jay retorts and he bars him up just as good. Like he actually gets serious, and he's not like pandering for the yeet part. And he mentions homie's NFL career and Braun's. His facial reaction was perfect for it too. He was like, "I can't believe that motherfucker just said that." Like, it was a really good facial. Yeah, it was a good battle of the word. War of the words.
People keep forgetting that like Bloodline Jay was a crash out. Like, y'all get yeet man and y'all yeeting and everything's cool, but when he was on some nut shit, when he was the right hand to the tribal chief, that man was a crash out. Don't make that man go back because he was super kicking everybody for no reason. You couldn't stop him. He didn't like nobody. Like that's also a crazy turnaround from Jay. That's fucking wild. But yeah, don't make that man go back to crash out, Jay. It's definitely the vortex. The vortex. We get an Io and Bianca promo. Io's like, how dare you challenge Kyrie with the injured eye? Calls her a coward. And Bianca's like, well, fuck it then. How about it's just me and you? I don't need to go against Kyrie. Let's just settle this in the ring, and we'll tap into that later. But also, like, I like it. I like where this was set up. I didn't know that. Like, had I known that Bianca was going to perform, I would have showed up for sure. Absolutely, definitely would have popped off for that. We get the tag team championship match with New Day versus Judgment Day.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead. Take it away.
All right, real quick. This ref, I don't recognize this nigga. And if I'm not mistaken, he was also in the Sheamus match, I think, or he was in a different match. I don't recognize this dude. Now, Lone, I need because David. God damn it! This DC agreed with me.
Want everybody to call him Hero, but can't call that nigga 2 letters. That's crazy.
It's new-ish.
What?
It's newish. It's newish.
This ref.
You never made me call you DT.
The ref. What about this ref?
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Anyway, I don't recognize this dude. I fucking hate him. I think he's the worst ref on the fucking planet. I don't like his face. I don't like his craft. I think he sucks at his job. Since when do refs focus on the action just completely outside? Well, you got 2 grown-ass men still fighting.
I had that note. I was like, why is the ref outside the ring? He ain't never seen a ref get out there, but hey, yo, okay, I know he just got hit with a chair, but let me check on y'all. Ain't no blood. It'd be different if somebody was busted out there, but like nothing.
If you played Madden, he had an awareness level of 59.
Oh, for sure.
That is the bare minimum.
For sure.
He was just there, so he didn't get fined. That's what it was.
For sure. We definitely got a dope. I'm gonna start calling them powerbomb watches. Woods put off a nice little powerbomb in this match. Definitely like that. Judgment Day does join in to interfere, which then sends out LWO, who comes out to help. Leads into Woods getting the pin, but the refs are distracted from whatever's happening outside the ring, which then lets Finn go up for a coup de grace while JD locks up Woods and Judgment Day retain. I think this was their first title defense. Like, this is their first tag team title defense.
I think they might have fought Miz and R-Truth once. Nope. Okay.
Nope.
Yeah,
this was their first one in like, I think
84
it was like
days.
Yeah, 70 something odd days or something like that. With that false count, the entire arena, we counted to 12. Woods could have won 4 separate times. Like, he could have won that match 4 times in a row. So yeah, that was infuriating as hell.
Yeah, I could understand that in the ring or like in the arena watching that. It's like, God damn it, this man, they should be tag team champions. But it further pushes the story because post match, Woods is hot. Woods is
very hot.
He's tight. I'm tired of this. Something got to change, man. They get back from the break. He back there cussing out LWO. Like, why y'all out here? Who told y'all to be out here? Cole backs him up like, yo. I asked him. I knew they were going to come out and help. I just asked to have some backup. And then hits one of the hardest emotional lines. We never needed help before because we had E. And I'm like, damn. And in true fashion, Woods pops back. Like, what you mean? We don't have E, but we got me. Like, what's up? And I'm like, but you are not E. Like,
see, the thing that this is a nitpick. Obviously, Woods is a crazy gamer. Like, the creation of the New Day has a bunch of Zelda tie-ins and other lore attached to it. Like, they had, I think we talked about it on the pod one time, like, they had different variations for depending on which 2 of the men win in the match. Like, they had the power rotation, which was Woods and E. They had the quick rotation, which was Woods and Kofi, and then they had the hybrid, which was Kofi and E or whatever. They had essentially all Kofi is saying is we don't have our tank. We the speed rotation, bro. We the smallest one. Like, we ain't got our tank. It ain't supposed to be a slight to you. It's just
you're not.
You got I mean, you got more muscles than me, but I'm like 2 inches taller. We're not the full Triforce. We're not the full trifecta. It's Captain America and Iron Man. They're gonna do good shit, but you still want Thor right there, or Hulk, you still want your big heavy. So it should have been that much of a slight. Is all I'm saying. But the words hurt.
If you think about the timeline, they inserted an NPC 3 weeks ago. that was supposed to help be the heavy, and now your first retort in this situation is we don't have E. So clearly I'm never good enough because not only did you not try to add another NPC in, but now we get to this situation, and instead of you being focused on what we trying to do, you worried about adding in a tank. It's us. We got it. We've been doing this longer than anybody except the Usos.
Which,
yeah, there was less gang activity though back then. Like everybody has a group. LW got like 5 niggas. You got Judgment Day. You got the Bloodline. You got the Final Testament. You got Legato. Like it's gang warfare.
You outnumbered.
You just 2 of us. You just like sometimes you need a heavy.
And by him saying that, it also slightly confirms that like, yeah, we need to help because we don't got E. So when they were going after said NPC, you were trying to replace E.
Exactly.
You was trying to fill the void. And to make to extend the slide a little bit, Woods did have a good rebuttal. Why does LWO know the plan for our title match? I didn't know the plan. Why do they know the plan? And I was like, damn, you're right.
Why you keeping me in the dark?
He right.
That was the best bar, or that was to me that was like the best line. Like it's like, yeah, bro. Like they both have really good points, and this is one of those fights that you have with your bro that could easily be settled in like 5 minutes if you like sat down and talked, but you guys are just texting or tweeting each other, so you don't understand the context type of thing. If they just sat down and talked and played Tekken, they'll be cool.
We don't have time. You keep doing shit. Instead of talking to me, you doing everything but that.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to restore the glory and the fame. That's it.
Yeah, I feel it.
Next match was quite the exciting match. We get Bronson Reed versus Braun Strowman. And I can't even say this was a match because this was definitely not a match.
It wasn't. It was not a match at all. It was a great fucking segment.
And it's funny because I saw his tweet. DT had tweeted and he was like, oh, so they changed the ropes for the big man? And I was like, that's kind of interesting. Why the fuck did they change the rope? Immediately, these motherfuckers break the ropes. Immediately. Kick, bell ring, ding, 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 turnbuckle off. I'm like, yep, this is not going to be a regular match. These niggas are not doing no pin shit in this one. I'm going to pass it to y'all because y'all was there live. How was this live?
It was, I was in awe. First of all, I thought it's good to be there live so you can see the production that happens in between the commercial breaks, etc. Right. So just like a little peek behind the curtain, if you will, when they're on commercial break, there's 4 people that are in the ring trying to position the top turnbuckle, the one that eventually pops off, into the turnbuckle, essentially, into the post, the ring post, and they're like running and trying to jam it in. So I guess one of two things were happening from where we were sitting at. Either they were trying to see how much force it was going to need for it to pop out, or they were trying to make sure it was spring loaded so it did pop out when force actually met the ring post. Gotcha. So they switch it, boom, they come back, they do the Irish whip, the ring explodes. Before this match officially starts, Hero leans over, and it's loud because music is going and we're doing all kind of stuff. He leans over and goes, last time they met, they destroyed a car. What would happen if they broke the ring? I didn't pay that no mind. That shit went way over my head when he said it. I was like, broke the ring?
This nigga tripping.
Why would they break the ring? Yeah, what are you talking about?
Yeah, matches later.
10 seconds into the match, boom! I was like, oh! And he was like, see? So now we screaming, a whole lot of stuff going on. It was amazing to see that match, or not match, but that brawl take place, run its course through the arena. There were some funny lights. I'll let Hero hit those funny points, but I haven't seen anything like that in person. So I was on the edge of my seat the whole time. Not gonna lie, I was like a little kid.
The nigga tossed a fan.
Yeah, everyone was standing. Yeah, that part was absolutely wild. Because I looked down for a hot second, and then there was just a nigga on the ground. I was like, "You threw a fan? You threw a fan?" because everyone was trying to get their phones out and like look at this carnage and like, yeah, it was wild. I don't recall what funny parts that DT's talking about. So if you know them, then say them. I know. To me, the segment, the segment was great. It was a great big man segment. When during the commercial break, when they were doing the ring part, like the reason I mentioned the exploding ring, I thought they were going to do like Big Show Brock Lesnar, Big Show Braun Strowman. I thought the ring was
collapse.
I'm going to see a collapse.
Yeah.
So I was semi right. So I was like, I was like, yay, come on, I'm semi right. But yeah, no, like it was a great start. Like this is kind of what you want to see from big guys. You want to see that spectacle. And to me it went up because the reason I went from ring explode because like we saw a crazy car, so it's like the trajectory has to go up. So they did go up. They elevated the feud a little bit. So I feel like the next match we got to see something even a little crazier because they went through a wall at the end of this. Like they fight backstage. It was great. Crowd was shouting, let them fight type of shit.
That nigga flipped a golf cart.
That was cool too. You see, the golf cart thing, and then you see the camera just, which is completely cheesy, but it was still great.
Right.
I think like in earlier before this match, there was obviously a little conversation between Miz and Braun Strowman, and Miz essentially was like, "Hey, what you mean? I'm not man enough for Big Bronson Reed," and he's like, "You're not, but it's not like your fault. Sometimes you need a monster to fight another monster." And this was literally like Godzilla versus Kong, like the first one. Like everything was just wreckage. There was destruction everywhere. As far as the fan that got thrown, when I was watching, because I didn't look up at the Titantron, so I was trying to look through the actual ring to see what was going on because it was on the opposite side. And all I saw was something blue fly across the arena, and Strowman fell. So I was like, what was that? Then I looked up and seen it was a fan. But the little funny adage was when when Strowman speared Big Bronson Reed through the wall, it was like a 5-second delay, and then like all this debris fell afterwards. So it was
it's like, nigga, you missed your cue. Oh shit. He started dropping shit.
Yeah, somebody missed the cue. It was like they went through, and then it was like 5 seconds, and then like everything fell afterwards.
A bunch of toolboxes fell.
Now, nigga. Shit. All right.
So, man, I don't want them in the ring. I don't. I think this would be a great opportunity for them to have a backstage match or, I don't know, some kind of monster element to it. But
I think we should get a cinematic match back. This would be a perfect timing for a cinematic match. That we ain't gotta worry about them sucking in oxygen and shit. Yeah, let's get like a construction yard or something wild. Or parking lot brawl.
Just surrounded. I like that.
By cars.
I like that.
Yeah,
cars, ambulance, like do the whole nine.
Because we're
just don't put them in the ring.
My head was going. I was like, damn, like hardcore match, street fight, but like we've seen a lot of those. To where like I think that we should definitely see like the parking lot brawl, like the cars, the golf carts, like a forklift, like something to like that element.
I can't remember who said. I saw someone say it on. I don't know if it was Busted. It might have been Bully Ray. But a last monster standing match would hit.
That sounds dope.
It sounds dope. I want to see what the details of that would be like. What would be the last monster differential between that?
It's a last man standing, but they just monsters.
And instead of, because I mean,
what the fuck was tribal combat? I still want to see a goddamn pineapple and a coconut. I don't care how bad that sounds.
I don't know. It does sound crazy.
I think
I don't mean it racially. What is tribal? Anyway, that's another thought.
What was a Nigerian drum match? We still had to figure that shit out. Like, there's a lot. Anywho, we get off topic here. We don't want them in a regular match. Great. We prefer something hardcore.
And at this point, you can't put them in a regular match because they tried that twice.
Yeah.
So
ring broke. So like, we need something different. Okay.
The idea of the last monster standing match. I talked to a friend a while ago about like a big brawl between Jade Cargill and Rhea Ripley, like just the two strongest physically imposing women. And it was kind of the idea that they ended up coming up with was hollow out a lot of the stuff that normal people wouldn't be able to lift, like hollow out a car door. So Big Bronson Reed or Braun Strowman, they rip off a car door and they smack at each other with a car door. Just like,
I like that.
Like mess with reality enough to where it's like they're safe, but like it's a last monster standing match, so they're hitting each other with cars and golf carts and running each other over with big stuff, as opposed to a normal last man standing match. It's a table, a chair, weapons under the ring. Like have it like really alter, you know what I'm saying, like reality and make it this big crazy occasion because you got two of the biggest people on the roster.
Hollow out like a Mini Cooper and just let this nigga like smack him with it. I know you could do it. Yeah. I know it's possible. Just carve that bitch out and just throw a Mini Coupe. I'm like, this is the greatest shit I've ever seen in my life.
Pick it up and toss it.
That's it. That's like, all I want to see.
Even if they miss,
I just want to see you do
it. Yeah.
Don't hit the nigga. Absolutely. I just want to see you throw this little car. That'd be fucking crazy.
Or play tug of war with it, rip that shit in half.
Yeah. Something like that.
It'd be like that Hulk game. That Hulk game, All Destruction or whatever it was. Mm-hmm. Mass Destruction, whatever it was called.
So it looks like the next next segment we got is Sammy cuts a promo towards Gunther. Off rip, he thinks Gunther is scared. And Ludwig doesn't like that. Ludwig has no, he won't, don't be talking about my boy like that. Don't be talking about like Chief Keef. Y'all don't know Chief Keef like that. He says for the first time, Kaiser saw Zayn's family look up to him instead of looking down to him. But miracles never happen twice. Sammy then decides to pick at Ludwig's alliance with Gunther, saying clearly he needs to succeed on his own merits and should show the world what he's capable of. So clearly we see that Sammy's trying to pick at,
he planting seeds.
Yeah, planting seeds in like you guys are alliance.
Deception.
Yep, for sure. Do we first off, like I think the same concept was done with Sammy and like Otis because he was trying to pick at Otis.
What the fuck? Yo, we can still hear you.
This nigga blacked out his camera and started getting beat up in his own house.
Hey, at least it wasn't super Shannon Sharp.
There is
at least he hit the kid.
Nah, that's fucking crazy. That's my Michelle.
Come on now, DT. Come on.
That's my Michelle. So we see that Sammy's trying to pick up the alliance. It clearly doesn't work because I believe the statement is that Ludwig had wanted to tell Gunther something, and then he immediately goes and clotheslines Sammy. What do you think of it? What do you think of the promo? How do you feel?
I thought it was a great segment. I mean, I'm a huge Sammy guy, so love Sam. Like again, Sammy's similar to Punk, similar to Cody, similar to Roman, and I mean similar to like a lot of the good talkers can make you just as passionate as they are when they're talking. Like when Sammy speaks, I'd be ready to go for whatever revolution that motherfucker wants me to go for. Sammy is just great. And then Ludwig, he has been coming into his own the last 2 years. When he gets his solo push, it's going to be fantastic. His facial cues were great. Like his in-ring promos are just as great. And then we get Gunther. I didn't expect to see Gunther. I didn't think we were going to get Gunther. So when he came out, I was actually shocked and I was happy. And I thought they did a good coy red herring, like, oh, you got something to say, say it or whatever, and then they just attack him. I thought it was a good ploy. But eventually, I feel like Ludwig is probably either they're going to trade him or he's going to get fed up of being a sidekick at some point. Because now that they don't have Vinci, someone has to take these pins before the person fights Gunther. And, Gunther's probably only going to accept losses so much, right?
Sure.
Probably. So, but overall, the segment to me was great. It was a great segment.
Are you, what's the heat check on, How do we feel? Do we like the idea of Sammy going to fight Gunther? Like, on a scale of 1 to 10,
I mean,
how invested are you, in this? Because like right now, for me, like the hottest feud for me is the Jay and Braun Breaker. I think that's like my favorite one right now, and I got that like at 7, 8. Where do you have on your 1 through 10 interest in Sammy versus Gunther too?
D.
Maybe a 4, if that, because we know how it's going to end. Sammy's not going to be the one to take that belt off of him this soon, but there is the like idea of he's the last person ever to beat
Right.
Gunther, but he's not taking that belt off of Gunther this soon. So
how would that, like, what could they do to make this more interesting? Because we all know how the outcome is that, he won't beat Gunther. Like, how does your interest rise if you know the solution or like the resolution to the feud?
Sammy has to get his ass kicked like never before. And I'm not saying he got to get squashed, but he always has that crescendo in his match where he takes a ton of damage and he's really resilient. And then he gets his kickoff. I'm missing the name of it right now. The haluva kick, and either they counter it or they kick out or he wins. I think he needs to. For me to be interested, he would have to like do 3 or 4 haluva kicks to Gunther and still lose.
Okay, I like that. I do like the idea of like changing the style of the match. So we're like, oh, before when you fought me, I learned, I adapt. You're not gonna beat me like you did last time. You don't have Chad here training you. This is just me now, and I upgraded. So I do like that. I like it's kind of in the sense of like, what's a good analogy? It's like, okay, when Goku fought, Frieza, but then Cooler came out and it was like, oh shit, this is a different motherfucker, and it was because it was his brother, but same same kind of like concept. I do like that.
For me, I'm already interested, but I would
Mhm.
say I'm at 7 or 8 as far as interest level because I genuinely like and have interest in both of these characters already. Although I would agree that I do believe that is going to be the outcome. That's the outcome that it should be. I think then this match, when it does happen, I am also on the same train. I think Sammy, not a squash, but Sammy should get destroyed just to hurt his confidence a little bit more and be like, I beat him before on the grandest stage, but this time at a insert C rank pay per view, I couldn't beat him or whatever. I think it would be good for character development. So yeah, but
And
as far
that
as
would
interest
make a
level, I
lot
would
of
say I'm at
sense.
7 or 8.
Okay, 7. I like that, and it would make sense. But in these promos, Gunther's just been like, no, and it seems like he's running away from like Sammy. And maybe the perception could be like it seems like he's running away, but maybe he's like, I don't want to beat you as bad as like you're about to get this. So it's a huge possibility. I do like that. Next match you get is Bianca versus Io. I don't have a lot of notes for this match because I was locked into this match. But my one note is that, in my opinion, this is the best WWE women's match I've seen. Like, I enjoyed this match a lot.
I think it
like
should
this year
be
or
like this year.
oh, okay.
yeah. I was gonna say I think it should be.
It's on
It
my.
should
I
be.
put on the
It should.
list.
Okay, it should be in the category for not only women's match, but honestly, it should be in the category for match of the year. Not, or
Yeah.
at least for just TV shows. Like as far as regular TV, not pay per view, not PLEs. Like
Yeah.
this was one of the better matches in all of 2024.
It
They have
was.
their chemistry is amazing. Man, like yeah, I know. I honestly, I can't say enough good things about this. I've loved both of these women since I first saw them in the ring. I remember seeing Bianca for the first time in Mae Young Classic, and I don't remember when I first saw. I think I first saw Io Lucha Underground. Anyway, both these women are great. This is a fantastic feud. This is not their first time fighting at all. Honestly, even just this year, actually. But it just like any two good wrestlers that have good chemistry, like every single time they fight, it's going to be a different match. Like Sammy and Kevin Owens, they fought like 30 times already, and they can fight 12 more times in the next 2 months, and each match will still be different, and you will still be captivated. And that's how I feel about these two particular women. And man, yeah, I need this on a Mania at some point in the next like 3 years. But man, this match was fire, and again, it was one of the matches where the Smelly Dude was gone, so I could actually breathe and focus and watch the match. And it was cool to see. It was cool watching the match in real time, because I also did watch Raw later on, just to like hear the commentary. But it was cool about watching this match in real time, and then like checking Twitter real quick and just seeing like everyone else's reaction across the globe. Like, oh, these women are cooking, and I'm like watching it in live real time and like, okay, cool. I'm not tripping. Everyone else is also seeing. These motherfuckers is killing it.
You had to be a hater to be like, that was not a good match. That was a phenomenal match. The stair spot, when she climbing up the stair in the suplex, like, I'm like, yo, she's different. And Bianca's always been different. And remember, like, when I said on the pod, like, a couple episodes ago, like, I felt like at some point, when do we break off from Jade? Because Bianca is this. This is what she's capable of doing. And not in a slight to Jade, but more so, like, it's Q4. Like, we need Bianca ready for Mania, like, in some kind of solo spot, like, because when she's by herself, you get shit like this. Like, and I miss that. I miss this version of Bianca, basically is what I'm trying to say here, is that dominance that she has. Like, it's been a long time since we've seen her one-on-one do this and, like, carry the whole match. Not carry.
And a rare clean loss, too. Like, she really...
Very rare.
I did not expect her to lose, only because she doesn't lose that often. Especially clean. And EO. Yeah, so if there was any doubt that Triple H or the E doesn't see EO as a star, I feel like that should definitely be. If it wasn't for her title run, I feel like this should definitely now knock that out the window. Like, she's definitely a star, considered a star among the women.
Absolutely.
You got Rhea, you got her, you got Charlotte, you got Asuka, you got B, Becky if she ever comes back. But like they do have their stars, and then you got the future ones like Tiffany's Money in the Bank. I mean, she's going to get this title, unless she's the first woman to fail, which I don't think she would be. So I mean, the women's division is strong, and we know all the NXT signings too. So like this division, this division is going to be eating good for a while. They still need to flesh out more stories, of course. Especially if they're going to add a mid card belt, we still need.
And
some
I was
more,
going to talk about that because I was like, we gotta flesh out this women division, because like we still don't have premier challengers for like the women's like main titles, right? And we were also struggling to find like tag titles. I mean, on the SmackDown side, you have the Bayley Naomi thing right now with Nia. Even Tiffy's like right behind there. And, but on Raw, it's like. But they had to flush that out a little bit more, especially like Michin, like because she has thrown on great matches, but the stock's not there just yet.
If they do get a mid card title, she would be, to me, one of the top.
She's right there.
She's the one
for sure.
Yeah. She's the one.
But that pool of mid card women is not as big as what we think it is, and it gets even smaller when you think about like the tag team division too, to where the pool for the women's tag is very small as well. We need an influx of talent to come to make this make sense. Otherwise, you don't get the opportunities to focus on great storytelling if you don't have the challenges ready to go,
Well, they have the talent. They just got to utilize them. Like Candice and Indy, we haven't seen them in like a month. I mean, granted, you got the Raver girls. Lyra is solo. You could put her in something. Shotzi's doing whatever. Maybe Shotzi and Michin can be a thing.
Shotzi should still be healing, I think, right?
Yeah. I mean, she's she's still out. When she comes back at some point. I don't know. Like there is enough talent, but there's, depending on the show, there's not enough time. And then also, again, like you can't just throw them out there. Yeah, like you're saying, like we have to get invested. You can't just throw out two random, like, I mean, you can, but we're not going to be invested in, like with Pure Fusion. Like no one's invested in it right now. And
it's been like 2 months now. Have to be good, bro. Like the storylines, the storytelling for the women has to be better than the men's, because the men's going to sell itself, like Cody's going to sell his, like, whatever. Roman's going to sell. He's going to be cool. The focus has to be on those talent down there, because that's what we're trying to like build up. To where if you had a Pure Fusion collective, like who do you put inside that group to make that pop off? Like, who's somebody like, damn, like placing her here expands this group? Because that's what they need. Is that one catalyst
for pure fusion?
For pure fusion, like who would you add? That's like
she just got injured, but I would add Kiana James because her character is like a secretary-ish. You can play off of it with some comedy, and also she is still kind of jacked. She's she's not like super short. I'd add Kiana James. That gives her something to do.
There's a fish out there that is coming. I would think is coming back in the next year or so, and I don't think you guys mentioned her. At least I didn't hear. But Alexa Bliss.
I like that.
She's probably going to be doing Uncle Howdy stuff. Because the Wyatt 6 is supposed to have 6 members. They only have 5.
But I thought like the 6 was Bray. I thought that was his.
Oh, it could. I mean, it could be, but Alexa has a lot of ties to Bray.
I thought.
I mean, I'm not right.
I don't know. I'm just speculating.
Yeah.
So how do you think? Like, do you think Bo and Howdy are 2 different people?
Yeah.
Well, then all of them would be 2 different people, wouldn't they?
Well, they haven't been presented that way to me yet. From what I watched, they haven't been presented that way.
It's true.
The only one that's been presented with a split personality or 2 entities has been Bo, from what I've seen. So to me, that's the 6. Because when Bo started showing up again, he was the one going and talking to, oh my God, not Nick Aldis. I'm sorry, the nigga that can't control his show. Yeah, he was the one talking to him initially in the office, etc. And we didn't see Uncle Howdy do anything in ring except for the vignettes and stuff like that. We didn't see him do anything until all the other characters were introduced. So to me, the way they started, it felt like they were 2 separate people.
You know who I would add inside Pure Fusion Collective and just have it like a badass fucking group? I would throw Piper. I would put Piper in a position to be like a leader. And then you have like a Piper fucking Shayna tag, which fucking works with me. Piper Zoe still works. Like, I like the idea of having this group of just women who are like, there's gonna a more amped up version of Damage Control. Like, toward Damage Control is more like in the mix, kind of like fucking you over. They just go and just wreck shit, just cannonball style.
The thing with Piper's not a bad choice, but I feel like you need to add someone a lot more charismatic than the 3 people that are already originally in the group
that can talk.
And to me, yeah, I mean Piper can talk, but
and that's why I said it just because the character-wise.
I feel like adding her, she'll just be like more of a heavy. I mean, she could still be the leader, but I don't know. Honestly, I feel like they should have someone who's more of an outlier as opposed to those 3, like how. But it doesn't have to be too I don't know. I do see. I smell what you are cooking, but I feel like more of so you have someone to play off of the blandness of those 3 would be better. So someone bubbly and
so Chelsea.
Chelsea would have been great, but I like what Chelsea's doing. I like what Chelsea and Piper are doing.
She did a very
we're talking
funny,
about Smackdown. That segment was great.
That's funny. Let's wrap up SmackDown real quick, then we head into break. Main event is Dom versus Priest. To be honest, I felt like I could not focus on this match because the match before was just really hot to me. Not saying it was a bad match, but I think like the women definitely took the stock up really fucking high. My notes from this is that Priest is fucking Dom up. There was a lot of... It was just, I respect you, Dom. You got in the ring, you try to fight, but it was not turning out too well. He did a mean south to heaven in this match, which was fucking crazy. We did get post match because Priest does win. We do get post match that JD jumps in and they jump Priest, which then sends Rhea out because Rhea comes out to get Liv. And then we get Jay coming out because they're outnumbered. Jay comes out, immediately gets speared by Braun Breaker, which that man told him early in the show, you should be focusing on that IC, or Rhea told him earlier, like, you should focus on the IC title. Like, can't be slipping on Braun. He not one of these ones that's gonna let you talk about him all crazy. How did y'all feel about it? What was the energy like? Like, what do y'all think?
Live
match.
Oh,
yeah, or go for it. Go for it.
Yeah, no. Live, I didn't even see Braun Breaker spear Jay live. I didn't even see it. I just saw him come out, and then next thing I know, Braun Breaker was standing there. I missed it. So there was like so much. There was so much going on that I definitely missed it. I think from a Dom and Damien's standpoint, that's what was supposed to happen. Like,
no
come
shit.
on. Like, yes. Come on. And honestly, he probably should have got his ass beat a little more. And I like Dom, but he probably, like, I think saved off on him a little bit. You know how, like, you get mad at your little brother and you don't really want to steal off on him, but you just gotta rough him up a little bit so he just know you got the grown man strength. That's what I feel like that was.
It was definitely that. Okay. Cool. Hero, before we get out, or both of you guys, give the show a rating.
Out of what? Well, how about
Let's
this?
Go 10.
Okay, out of 10, I would say 7.5 to 8. And the reason I'm saying that is, so I've been to, this is not a flex, but since I got back in the game of wrestling, I've been to every show in Portland since then. So it's been almost damn near 10 years of me going to every show that at least comes to Portland, if not at least close to Seattle. And I would say that this is one of
visit the money talk.
Yeah, I would have no way.
It's once a year. This year has been the most expensive the ticket's been because the ticket's been hot. There was one year they were selling them for 20.
10 years straight. That's true. They were cheap.
Yeah, they used to be cheap in Vince era. But I mean, overall, I think this was one of the better Raws that I've been to live. So that's why I'm going to rank it high. I think the overall quality of the matches were really good. The promos really good. The worst part about the show was that ref in that tag match and the smelly guy sitting next to us.
I like it. DT.
I unfortunately don't have the backlog of history for live events. So this is only one. Yet?
Did you?
How are we gonna switch the?
I was thinking about money bags. I'm like, did you get that belt yet?
It's supposed to arrive tomorrow. It should have arrived last Monday before Raw because the whole plan was for me to take it.
You said Raw. That was for the listeners. That was one of 500, right? Like
it was one of 1,316.
I got you. You got one on the West Coast. You won at like 25 on the West. You might be one of one in the Northwest. You know what I'm saying?
All right. See.
Anyway, and it was signed too.
Okay, it's not so. All right, we're gonna go and talk about Raw. How Raw ended. Like I said, I don't have the luxury of having gone for the last decade or so. So this is technically my second Raw, my third WWE PLE or not PLE but live show. I loved it. I did. I loved it. We made it on the Titantron a couple times.
That's cool.
It was great energy. Aside from the notable negatives that Hero already mentioned, not gonna rehash those. It was really fun. That's tough. I would have to say probably the same score, 7, maybe a 7.75. You know what I'm saying?
I like that. All right, cool. Yeah. So overall, good experience. To the listener out there, we're going to take a quick little break, and then we're going to jump into Dynamite, and then we're going to wrap up the show with SmackDown because there's a lot to talk about on SmackDown. But we'll be right back in a bit.
Warp Drive.
let's get into some AEW Dynamite. Show kicks off with Jericho versus Cassidy. Still a good match. I still enjoyed the match, but I don't I'm just the Vortex. I'm Vortex out. I am
They
definitely
should not have
Vortex out. I
opened the
don't really
show
have
with
a thing
this.
for, but not with them. And it doesn't help because your Vortex out and it's Orange Cassidy. I'm just like I don't know. I don't have anything. I enjoy them.
Which
I
I'm
enjoy the
really,
performance. It was a good match, but the story was
yeah.
just the story's just taking its time for me with this one.
Well, there's not
The
really
whole
much of
we're
a
doing this over the
story.
orange jacket, like he ruined my $7,000 jacket. I just don't think there's like enough for me to like care about the storyline, especially when in AEW it's like this nigga burned a man's house down. Let's focus on that. Okay, I know the story for that. You want to get back at some man for home invading you. I'm emotionally invested in this. When it's Orange Cassidy and Jericho, it's like the learning tree and the conglomeration and nothing at all.
Yeah, they shouldn't have started the match with this. Honestly, I don't know why they're running this feud back. Personally, I mean, it obviously they're going to do the learning tree versus the conglomeration, but
Yep.
I mean, not to be okay. Hashtags ratings talk just for a quick second. Jericho has not been doing good in the ratings since like year 2 of
What are you talking
AEW.
about? You
Usually,
just said he was
usually when
demo
he's
guy
on,
last week.
that, and that's a lie. He was a demo like in during the MJF feud and shit, like yeah he was the demo guy because he had a shirt and all this other shit, but that was 3 years ago. This is now like a lot of people are tired of seeing him, which is why you get please retire chants and all. Like it's not just heat for heat. It's like people legitimately want him to go away. So I personally would not have started the show with this. I would have put it in
The
the middle.
thing is, like I said, it's still a good fucking match. They still had a
No,
good match for Jericho standards. It was still good. It's just the story. That's the only thing that gets me. Um, he did have a very interesting win with this. Like Jericho tries to he grabs something out of I think it's a roll of quarters and tries to hit him with a roll of quarters and then gets reversed and then Orange Cassidy Superman punches him with the roll of quarters, gets the win. That's the end of the first match. Like I said before, good match. Wrestling was great. The crowd was invested. Just story's just not for me. We do get what I am interested in is the backstage promo from Claudio and Pac, where they're asking where the fuck's you been at? Where you at? We ain't seen you since the pay per view. You know, I respect that you're your own man, but we got a trios title to defend. Like we need to have you show up on for this title defense next week at Grand Slam. I believe the Pac says that next week they have a trios title defense and he better show up to work. Claudio says he's not mad, just disappointed in him. And the Mox, shows up and says, he believes that Yuta can be the man they believe he can be. Basically stating that, we want you to be the dog that, you truly are. But clearly in this angle, it's Yuta who's playing off of Brian that's his role model, his icon. And it's also a very interesting element to think what's going to happen when they do fight off next week. Like, what does Yuta do? Do you just break off? Like, is Yuta getting excommunicated out the group out of whatever this new, faction is?
Well, okay, yeah. So I don't think they're going to lose their titles. I mean, we don't know who they're fighting. They're supposed to fight Private Party, but it looks like they wrote them off. Maybe. If not, then they're going to have a special third who that could be. Who knows who that could be? In the chat, I was like, "Ooh, maybe this is finally Bobby Lashley," but I was saying that jokingly. But who knows? So on paper, as of right now, it's supposed to be Private Party versus whatever this the Neo BCC club that's going on right now.
Which I did check that out.
I think
I did check the
Wheeler
video out. Yeah,
I think Wheeler is going to. So like right now, he looks dejected. He looks he's
distraught.
Distraught. He's leaving his title accidentally during places.
Yep.
But then later in the show when they do get up or catch up to him, he says he's going to defend it. So I think he will fight. I feel like he'll be a little distraught. Maybe he'll be hesitant. If they do lose, it's going to be because of Wheeler, but I don't know if they'll lose. They just got the got the
it's
titles.
hard. It would have to be like some superstar like trio that just came out of nowhere. But even then, AEW doesn't really put the belts on their new people like that. Like not out the gate.
But then
Not
again,
on day one.
If they're going to do what I think they're going to do, I don't see because Moxley is that third in that trios, right? Or is it no, man, I'm lying. No, because it's Pox. Okay, never mind. So yeah, I wouldn't be. Yeah, I don't think they need to lose. I wouldn't be surprised if they keep it. I don't know. I'm not really sure though.
It's going to be interesting. I'm invested in the story. I want to see where they go with this because it's fucking BCC trying to take over AEW right now. We get a Hook versus JD's or JD Inc. It's a squash match. Hook's currently beefing with Roderick Strong. Once again,
I don't understand.
Not touching it. I'm not touching I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this, but it's like if there is anybody who could make the title worth it is Roderick Strong, but it's just like it's just nothing for me for Hook either. Like,
but at some point Hook is going to have to win it back.
We just got to burn this off the show. They just need to
get it off the. What they need to do after this feud, he wins it. We get a Hook speaks moment. He says this title already isn't real, so it doesn't matter anymore. I'm going to go after some real fucking gold, and then challenge Okada or challenge Ospreay or challenge anyone the fuck else that actually has a real title, just so we can elevate him, because he has been in a holding pattern for 2.5 years now, doing the same exact shit. And again, we brought it up. I mean, it's hard to not bring it up, but him and Dom came in around the exact same time, and the way that their growth is not only just in ring but just character wise it's so vastly different. You can argue it's because the machine is bigger on the other side, or whatever the fuck, but it all comes down to booking. Also, though, basic booking,
it does.
What it really comes down to.
Dom wasn't given a title and told to just run with it, right? It was like, you got a group that kind of helped you get into the game, which is why I loved the Hook and Joe thing. Hook, Joe, Shibata was a fucking banger group for me because it let Hook take the back burner. You didn't have to be the superstar in the group. But just him right now running this thing solo, it's like we got to change it up at some point. He needs a vet. He needs somebody to kind of help him get through the motions because he still can't talk. It's just... There's things that you need to be a star. Not saying Hook's not a great wrestler. He's a phenomenal fucking wrestler. It's just he has a look. It's just character development. Why do we care about Hook? Hook can't just be the quiet guy and be cool in the corner. It's not 90s TV no more, that can only take you so far. And the thing is, if Ricochet can get out there and talk, you can get out there and talk too. Just no matter how good or bad, get out there and say something. I don't care.
Well, I mean, he said stuff, and the
writing's not good for him. He needs a writer.
Yeah, he sounds like a bully in a Disney movie when he talks.
Yeah.
Like whoever Johnny Tsunami's villain was, that's what it sounds like, and that's not to, I like Hook. It's just it's similar to some of the other people that we've talked about, like an Ivy Niles, or it's some people don't, they just sound too nice. And I mean, he's a handsome, cute kid. But he does have a cool punk looking look. He has a cool anime looking look where it's I can believe that he's a quote unquote street fighter just as much as I believe Solo or Kevin Owens is quote unquote street fighter. I can believe that, but they're also just not presenting him that his first couple months. He was presented as it looked like he was going to be a fucking star, and he still has that potential because he's only 24.
Yeah, he's still mad young.
Yeah,
he's like a heel turn. Could you turn him heel to where he doesn't talk and he's just beating people up and breaking ankles?
Well, to me, he's a tweener. He's not a heel or a face. He could switch any day because all he does is fucking suplex niggas and choke them out. So that could literally be a heel or a face. But it's yeah, you make him a heel, but he still needs better motivations than having a fake title. He needs actual motivations, like chase after Okada, chase after the ROH for Christ, or anything. I don't like.
Okay,
He had that
I'm
one
gonna
match
picture
with Joe.
something. Let's paint something out. You know, Hooks beats Roderick Strong. He gets in the ring with Taz. We're celebrating, and he just suplexes Taz. Like, do we get like some heel angle to where it's like, your legacy is not good enough for me. This is what you laid out for me. I don't like this. I'm gonna go build my own legacy. Like somewhere, some kind of character change where it's like, I'm gonna do shit on my own. I don't need your belt. I didn't need you. You weren't there. You were on the road. I'm gonna go get it myself, kind of thing. Something to make me care for what Hooks like. You know, anything about his character, what his motivations are. Because right now, Hooks just carries a belt and like that's it. He doesn't go after the best fighters. It'd be different if like Hook's character was, I'm the FTW. I'm going to challenge the best wrestlers in AEW. I'm going to go after the Okadas and everybody else to prove my talent against them. He needs something.
Okay. I don't dislike that pitch. I just feel like it's too easy, especially in AEW, because it's very cool to be the heel, and like him beating up his own dad. That would pop for a week, but then it's really what the follow through is with it.
True.
What I would go the heartwarming route. I would go. They have a good heart to heart, and he's like, "Dad, I can't carry this anymore. It's not doing anything for me. I need to chase after some bigger shit. Like, take this. You are the one. You're the rightful owner of this. No one else deserves this. No one else should be able to hold this shit. This is yours. I never want to see this shit again unless I'm at your home for Christmas dinner." Type of shit. Like, I don't like. I would say go the more heartfelt route so that you can, especially if they're going to push him as a face or just even just as a tweener. Like, go the heartfelt route. Go to like the endearing route where he's like, I want to make a name for myself, but in the good way, where it's like, yeah, he doesn't have to beat up his own father to do it.
That should have happened at like All Out or
All
All In
2 years ago.
Respectfully, it should have happened at All In, where he could have been like, just after he beat Jericho, just pass off to Dad, like, this is it, Dad, you got it. I brought it back to the family. I'm out, kind of thing. Next match that we have. Yeah. What? Go ahead.
I was going to pitch another story, or another idea, or it could be Taz's idea, where Taz calls him out to the ring, and it's like, "Yo, look, man, it's been 2 years and some change. I see better for you. I brought you here because I know there's better for you. Blah blah blah. You can do it that way, where it's a son believing in it, or a dad believing in his son, type of thing."
It's possible. I like either or. Like, we just need to get him with the other players in the pool, because right now he feels very much separated and isolated from the group, and it doesn't help his character because he can't carry his character by himself. Next match we get is Mariah May, Serena Deeb versus Queen Aminata and Yuki Sakazawa. This match made me realize you do have to watch Collision. I watched Collision last night after we finished recording, and Deeb is beefing with Aminata right now, so this makes sense. Yeah, if you didn't watch Collision, you'd be like, what the fuck is happening here? But it makes sense. Aminata's beefing with Deeb. Mariah May's beefing with Yuka. This is the classic baby faces team up to take off their heels.
Yeah, TK, this is why we need video packages, just in case someone didn't watch the show.
This is true. You definitely got to remind people, because like
30 seconds would help. Just a 30-second clip.
Especially because they run packages, Paul. They run video packages, because we've seen the Nigel one, and like he's been running that one for a couple days now.
Yeah.
But the match is good. I enjoyed this match. It's good to see Queen Aminata on TV. Like, she's actually getting her shine. There's actually a lot of praise for her online, where people are like, "Who the hell is this? Where she's been? She's a star. She looks great." The match ends where Mariah May ends up grabbing the belt and bashing Yuka's head in, and start using her face as the belt, kind of like in cheese grater, kind of like simulation, where she's just grinding her fucking face on the belt. Yeah. Just being more deranged than usual. She post match we get a Mina Shirakawa video package, where she's like, Mariah wants me to come back. She hasn't celebrated her championship win yet. All right, guess what? I'm coming back. We're gonna celebrate your win. And I'm ready. I'm cool. I like Mina. Mina's a great wrestler. This will be a great first feud for Mariah. It's best friends versus best friends. I don't think you can go wrong with this. I think it's fine.
I don't think you can go wrong with it. I just feel like I feel like we're already plateauing with this again. It's just with TK stuff. Like we crown like the Mariah Tony feud was
Hot.
arguably one of the best storylines in that company's history, or just in general, just one of the better storylines of the year. You could put it in feud for the year if you want. It's up there. And then it's similar to like when Swerve won the title. After they won the title, it's kind of just like flat. Like it's just I don't know. It's just kind of stagnant. Where to me, it's like Mariah's not doing shit to me right now. This Mina feud would be cool. It probably lasts 2 months or so, but then what? Because like who are the top contenders in the women's division right now? Besides, I mean, well, because Sheeta's like mid card ish, but she can always switch. Tony's doing some shit in Japan. I don't know. I feel like they also need to flesh out the division. I feel like Tony, he planned that whole storyline, but he didn't plan anything afterwards for the trajectory with some of these women and like Mariah's next challengers. Because like after Mina, then yeah, like who else? Because everyone else is like either fucking with Mercedes or non-existent because they're on Rampage or ROH. There's not a lot of strong contenders right now.
They have the women. It's just everybody's kind of like in the same loop of like mid card, but we're kind of like getting our wins up kind of thing. Because the same thing could be said like, when Jamie Hayter came back. Jamie Hayter should have been implemented into like the main event like picture. But she's currently beefing with like Saraya, which was set up at All Out. But even before that, you should have had somebody ready to go lined up to take out Mariah when she won, or like just the idea of who you wanted this next feud to be. And maybe that was Mina, because Mina was at All Out. She was in the crowd watching. Maybe there's like prior commitments, travel. I don't know what the case may have been. But there should have been an open challenge where somebody came out and like tried to like knock Mariah off, like as like,
it's just weird not to have anything for her. Like she's been doing one-offs and like, oh, I've been waiting to celebrate my championship, but I need Mina here. So yeah, I mean, I feel like there had to have been prior obligations or contract stuff, but then I feel like you should have already at that point. I feel like business-wise, Tony or whoever would have already known that, so they should have had a plan for booking Mariah on these stories because to me she's already flat. I'm not saying like they're fumbling her or nothing. I feel like that's way too drastic, but I feel like we got this great payoff of a storyline, and now we're just twiddling our thumbs until finally this fifth anniversary, and we'll see what happens after that. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
they could have done
there's a lot.
There's
a lot that could have been done. There's a lot of women that's not being used. That could be used. You could throw Deanna in here real quick, then have Mina come in. Like, there's some people that could have benefited from like just beefing for a quick little one-off.
Which is rumors saying that they're going to try to start a faction around Deanna, I guess. Which whatever the fuck that means. But again, yeah, like you're right. And real quick, then we'll go to the next segment because I've already said this before. But again, AEW has a lot of good ass women on their roster. Most of them are stuck in ROH for whatever reason. Athena, she just broke the women's world title match or title reign for ROH. Can't remember the last time we seen her on honestly, I don't think she's been on the Dynamite since her first week of being signed. And she's easily one of the better workers. Mercedes,
I think she had fought somebody. Was it Mercedes and Owen Hart? Owen Hart? I don't know. She had fought. She was on AEW.
Britt won the first Owen Hart, and Willow won the second Owen Hart. Because there's only been 2 Owen Harts that I can remember at least.
I could have sworn she was fighting. She fought somebody.
She might have been in the first one. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. And then like he brings Nyla once a month just to put somebody over. It's just weird.
Even Anna's had like promos where she just came back from Japan. So like, there's a lot of women who can be used and they're all popping off at the same time, which is kind of interesting. But we'll see how it goes.
Yeah,
like I said, I know Mina and Mariah will have a fucking banger match. They have great chemistry. They've been working together forever. Like, I have no doubt that the match will be good.
it should be.
The Nigel McGuinness video package against Daniel Bryan. I remember last pod we were talking about how he's like, how does he know like Bryan's going to accept like this challenge? And when I was watching the collision last week, they asked him that same question. And he's like, he doesn't know. He's like, I just threw it out there because like, you know, Mox is beefing with Darby. There's no match for Daniel. Like, he's open, so I want to challenge him. So currently he's just egging him on. Daniel hasn't been seen since all out, which I do respect. This is a lot different than like, you know, him taking the Tiger Driver and then popping back up. They actually gave him some time on this to where he's been sitting out for a minute, kind of like, you know, kayfabing the effects of, you know, what happened to him, i.e. BCC turning on him and trying to choke him out with a plastic bag.
Trying to choke him, trying to commit mass murder.
Mass murder. They're definitely trying to take him out.
It's to me, it's still weird. It's not because if I'm not mistaken, the Nigel thing came before the Darby and Moxley segment last week. Maybe I'm tripping, but I could have sworn the Nigel segment was before that. But even then, it still doesn't explain why Darby just willingly gave up his shit to fight Moxley. Like, you won this number one contendership late July, early August, and you're just giving it up because a nigga asked for it because you're assuming that this guy isn't going to show up to work because Moxley told me he's not coming to work, so now I'm going to give up my title shot. And then fucking 5 minutes later, Nigel's like, hey, I'm challenging Daniel. Like, I don't know. It still does not make a whole lot of sense.
I understand both, and I'll explain both of them from my perspective. Is that, like, Darby, if he's going to be AEW champion, has to knock out some big dogs. So you're going to have to fight Mox because that's just one of the big dogs of AEW. And I get it because, like, people are like, when Darby won, it's like, okay, so Darby has a title shot. It's like, we don't even believe Darby can win it. But clearly Tony does. Darby's been putting the work in AEW. He's in every major pay-per-view. He's done insane fucking spots. He's very fucking reliable. The man will fucking wrestle with a broken nose, broken face. It doesn't fucking matter. So he's very much bleed in, bleed out kind of AEW. So I understand it. From the Nigel side of it, it's unfinished business. Like the 16 years ago, the storytelling from them doing the ROH, like him being his biggest
20
enemy.
Years ago, bro. I think it was 20.
I get it, but apparently there's a story that has to be told here.
Yeah, and I understand it too. I understand it too I understand it to a little bit because again, like let's say this match happens, which it looks like it is because last week Tony there was a graphic for it, so Tony essentially approved it, even though we still haven't got any single word from Daniel. Which this match is next week, right? Isn't Grand Slam next week?
Grand Slam is next week.
Okay, so we haven't seen Bryan in 3 weeks. Right now, as of right now, this match is supposed to happen. Again, if you're in Daniel Bryan's shoes, you haven't been around since your homie choked you out in tried to murder you with a plastic bag. Why the fuck still would you fight Nigel over a 20-year beef when your recent friend just tried to kill you?
I text and knock you out. No, I get it. We talked about it last week. My first thought would be, I'm going after this nigga over here first.
Yeah,
we talked
fuck
about
this other match. And honestly, okay. I might need to here. I'll try to fact check it because I heard that. This isn't a title match now. It's just an
it was just there was no title on the line. It was just
that's even weirder. That's even weirder.
I don't want your title. I don't want it. I just want to beat you down. That's Nigel's whole thing.
I've been waiting to get clear for 20 years. I just want to fight you,
beat your ass. That's his motivation. I've been waiting 20 years to fight you. I get it.
Which I do like that. If it wasn't intertwined with him getting choked out by Mox, with the goddamn plastic.
I get it.
His homies betrayed.
Waiting 20 years to fight a nigga is funny.
It's something I do. The best revenge, you gotta wait. You don't take revenge immediately. You gotta wait. That's how you know. That's the easiest way not to get caught. You gotta wait at least like 2 years.
I'm still waiting on some get back from 2007. I'm gonna just leave it at that.
Speaking of the man speaking of choking people out with a plastic bag, Mox, Shafir, and Claudio head to the ring. They look like they're about to set up a promo. End up getting jumped by a private party. As the fighting's happening, Mox grabs a mic and says he could end the career as a private party. He said but he won't do that. He said they've been here since the beginning for 5 years and they're still in the same spot, which is also a fact. Private party is great, but they are definitely in the same spot. Mox says he's going to give them what they need, an obstacle to overcome, and then takes a hammer and breaks this man's hand. So, you guys are not challengers next week no more. It opens it up to where another trio can come in. Maybe this is where you get a new trio to fight them. I don't fucking know. But as of right now, it looks like Isaiah Cassidy has a broke hand, and they're not fighting. You're not going to do none of that.
So it's interesting to try to see who they like, what trios they'd bring. Although the optic wise, this segment looked crazy, especially based off the last couple of weeks since this new character, this new team. Because again, it looks like American History X on Tubi. But what Mox said to Cassidy, I liked the way that he worded it. So essentially, it seems like what this group's motivation is, besides being racist, is that they're going to beat up people who haven't done shit in this company. So it's like you've been doing the same, like private party, they've been doing the same shit. Like they're on the debut episode of AEW Dynamite, they beat the Young Bucks in a fucking
great match.
In a we'd call it underdog, not underdog, but it was a shocker. We didn't expect it. They haven't done shit since. Granted, there was injuries on other sides, whatever. But so it's if that's the case, you need to hit up Archer. You need to beat up Hook next. Honestly, you should beat up Hook immediately because he hasn't been doing shit. Who else should they like? If that's the case, you got to beat up most of this roster.
I like it.
If that's the motivation, I'm liking it.
Y'all got to get your act together. And the only way to get your act together is for me to whoop y'all ass.
If we can get that with less Jan 6 undertones, I'm here for it.
I can't even say Jan 6. Although I will say that when I mentioned the clip earlier, I did watch the clip. He's definitely inspired by that movie. As long as there ain't no symbols, no targeting people of color, I'm cool. If this is equal opportunity ass whooping, you should be in.
They just beat a nigga with a hammer.
He choked a white man out with a bag, so we're good.
Yeah.
He does look like a buff Remy from Higher Learning. If you've never seen Higher Learning, that's exactly what he looks like.
I did see Higher Learning. Match for AEW was the Mordos versus Ricochet match. I think this is what Ricochet needed. He needed to get this one out so people could see that he was still able to wrestle how he wants to wrestle. It was a fun match. I didn't have anything wrong with this match at all. I actually liked Mordos more in this match than I did Ricochet. There's a lot of spots that he did that was really fucking dope to me.
Mordos is cool. The fact that he can do all that shit in that particular mask is pretty dope.
It's fucking crazy. But the story comes later where Ricochet he gets the win against Mordos in that great match, and then he's backstage about to be interviewed as Will Ospreay pulls up. Ricochet says everyone at AEW has been calling Ricochet out, trying to prove themselves better than him, but nobody's calling out Ospreay. He knows Ospreay's busy at Grand Slam, but he talked to Tony, and on the 5-year anniversary of Dynamite, it's going to be Ricochet versus Will Ospreay, October 2nd for the AEW International Championship. Lil Bros him, walks off. Personally, like I said, this promo for him sounded a lot better than the one at All Out. And for Ricochet, this is a step up.
Top
all right,
tier.
I'm not looking for nothing crazy from Ricochet, but I'm looking for advancement. This is from D class to solid C minus C plus. This is way better than what he was doing before. And we actually find out that he will fight Ospreay, not at a pay-per-view, but on the 5-year anniversary of Dynamite. What do you think? What's the consensus?
DT, you go first with Ricochet's promo. or feelings, I guess.
Yeah, feelings towards the promo.
So, feelings for the promo. To me, this is his best work that I have seen him do. When he was with the E, he had a promo about not getting chances and not feeling, you know what I'm saying, like he got his shot. That promo was okay. I didn't really believe it from him, but this I believed. Like this, I felt. So for me, like you said, top tier. This might be his best work to me. Listen, and I'm not trying to be funny. Like, I actually was like, okay, all right, I gotta watch that because now I gotta see you back it up.
Yeah, and if there's one match that I would say you should check out, it's probably going to be the Ospreay Ricochet because they're going to fucking do some crazy shit.
Well, yeah, that's why we're already getting it into a month and this motherfucker already being in the company.
But see, no. We know we've talked about this. We talked about like two different sides of the coin. Longevity. We got to find an equal balance.
Right. Okay. Well, we got to let it play out because the match hasn't happened yet. But my thing was like, please don't rush this match because obviously this is the match that everyone wants to see. Stop rushing dream matches, especially if you don't have a plan afterwards. So, like, either Ricochet loses his first match, or Ospreay loses his third / the title, which at this point that probably would be the better option, so we can finally get him into the main title. But you could have avoided booking this all together. As far as the promo goes, I think it was very, very mediocre. Mediocre is actually harsh. I think it was fine. To me, it doesn't sound any different. The only difference is that he got maybe 40 more seconds.
Fuck.
That's okay.
That's
see.
You said you believe
on your chip.
No, I don't, bro. He has the same tone. He has the same bass. He just because he little bro because he said little bro. Like no, like it was. He got maybe 50 more seconds of promo, but there was nothing more believable than what he said to Logan Paul. Like to me, there is no difference.
Nah, I think.
I'm not gonna. Yeah, which both of you guys agree. We are the triangle of trust. All right, this is a democracy. But all I'm saying is that to me it was a plateau. I don't think it was any better or any worse than anything I have seen him say. To me, the only
plateau is right. Plateau is like it just dropped.
Plateau is stagnant. It's like limbo.
Is that okay? All right.
Yeah, plateau is like. You don't. Yeah,
it's like you're not going up. You're not going up anymore. You're not going down. You're
just right here.
Just right there. Okay.
To me, it's not. Yeah, to me, it's not any worse or it's not any better. The only difference because I watched it twice to make sure I wasn't being too harsh. To me, the only difference is that he just got a lot more time, which is what he needed.
And maybe that's what all you need is just more time.
But the more time
promo in WWE.
Right, but the more time didn't make it more believable, in my opinion. To me, he still had that little base. Is like everyone wants to call me out, but I'm trying to call you out. And I took your advice, and I talked to Tony Khan, and I'm going to get that match. I know you're busy for Grand Slam, but after that, October 5th, it's going to be me and you, little bro. Like that.
See when you do it like that, yes, that sounds corny.
I wasn't even.
Wait. When I watched it, and granted, I watched it once. I didn't watch it twice and try to double in it. When I watched it, it was his mannerisms and the way that he was looking at Ospreay. If I remember right, he was pointing at his chest. He was talking with his hands. Like he did more. The stuff you're talking about with the Logan Paul, from what I remember, these motherfuckers had a flip off. He flipped outside the ring and was like, "I'm ready to fight you whenever." type
He
deal.
called him out to the ring. He's like, say it to my face. But I wasn't trying to say it was corny. I'm just trying to say, like, to me, there's, as far as like acting or as far as believability, like when we were talking about Sammy or Punk or, I mean, you can bring up other people in AEW like Pac or Mock. Like, to me,
Joe.
It didn't feel any more, for sure, Joe. To me, it didn't feel any more believable. To me, it felt like he was just reading some shit. And he was talking to his friend, which is what he's doing. Or not the reading part, but I don't know. To me, like the bass or the tone, maybe the mannerisms and the body language. I wasn't looking at his hands, to be fair or anything. So maybe, yeah. But to me, there's no difference. To me, it wasn't a difference. I need to see more confident before I start gassing him up.
He felt confident. I think that was the difference for me, is that he looked confident saying what he was saying. Like he trusted what he was saying. Okay. Main event of the show is Bucks, Okada, or Elite versus Ospreay, Fletcher, and Konosuke. So Elite versus Don Callis. This one is once again foreshadowing, the Bucks fighting against Fletcher and Ospreay, and eventually Okada versus Takeshita. They've been hinting at it for a while now. Hinted at it last week. They're even more hinting at it this week. So much so that there was a tag spot where Okada was in and Ospreay was supposed to tag in Konosuke. He didn't let that happen. Also, them boys on the same team, they don't like each other. That's also my notes, that like there's still some beef between Okada and Ospreay, or not Okada, but Ospreay and Konosuke. And I like that, because that's just a back burner kind of like feud. Ospreay got the first one on him. Konosuke didn't forget that shit and still don't like old boy. So like, I like the idea of like still holding on to threads inside that, like that group or inside that feud. Because they could always revisit that again, and that'd be a great fucking match. There was a dope little senton on the rope spot with the Young Bucks and Ospreay. That was really fucking dope. But as far as like overall, Ospreay and Fletcher get the win, so they get the pin on, I believe it was Matt Jackson, and post match they throw up the United Empire graphic, which was Ospreay and Fletcher's group over New Japan. Currently still over New Japan because it's still being used over there. Apparently, it looks like they may have some like reimagination of that over here in AEW, or maybe just a one-off. I don't fucking know. And then inside ring, Ospreay goes to like handshake Takeshita. He's like, fuck no, I don't fucking rock with you. They get into a little feud and the show ends. But overall, for this segment in particular, like I said, it's just setting up the tag team match that's supposed to happen next week. Grand Slam is like this big deal for them, so I expect a lot of shit to happen next week. We didn't see any Swerve. Swerve hasn't been on the show since he got stabbed in the face with a needle, so I expect Swerve to be back. Grand Slam. Actually, I saw some reports that he's supposed to be coming back sooner than expected.
Yeah. Said him and MJF were taking off.
He should be getting tested.
I mean, clearly he's not that hurt because he started tweeting like right after the fucking match. So.
Yeah, he was at SneakerCon this week, unveiling his shoes to people.
The similar interest that we have, he took a picture.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh, okay. He took a picture.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool. I like that. I like that a lot. So yeah, he was at SneakerCon getting his shoes off, and we didn't talk about it, but there was a Hangman promo this episode too. But Hangman's currently beefing with Jeff Jarrett, and Jeff Jarrett's determined to fuck over Hangman.
Yeah, essentially, he's gonna beat up anyone who is fucking with Swerve. So in that, essentially, which I mean, there's not that many people, but that wasn't even me making a joke. It's just he had one faction. They already turned on him. He turned on Keith Lee. So there's not that many people that was fucking with Swerve. But to me, that means this feud isn't like over, right? If he's beating up everyone who's ever been affiliated with you, like eventually you have to come back.
No, it's not over. They gotta go back.
And again,
I'm not going to ask what can you do next. No, I'm not. I'm not asking it. I'm not asking it.
Done. I need a blicky.
I'm not asking it because we can't. We asked before, like, what can they do next? I was like, damn, I don't know. I don't know how you can like top, choking the motherfucker out with a chain in the middle of the ring. Like, there's no way you could top that. Fucking fast forward, this nigga getting injected with needles, power bomb, those cinder blocks.
I want to see a needle in his urethra.
The next is they turned it into a Saw
I
movie. That's what it's gonna be. It's gonna be a Saw movie.
Something just fucking brutal. The chainsaw got to come out at some point. Inferno match. I don't know. Do something. That was AEW. I kind of like gave you the spark notes of it. But I do expect next week's episode when we do talk about Grand Slam to have a lot more shit going on. This was a more promo field, kind of like Dynamite. Clearly trying to tell stories that are being told through AEW right now. But let's jump into SmackDown. Let's get into.
All right, yeah, SmackDown, Sacramento, California. Yay! Before the show starts, we just get a quick little earlier today. This is what happened, and you see the Bloodline minus Solo because Solo's not on the show tonight. You see them going through the metal detector, and they're all not trying to get checked, and then Fatu ends up beating them up, and it's like. I really fucks with that because I'm not a huge fan of TSA. Granted that this isn't TSA, but I don't need all that pat down. You know what I'm saying? Fuck all that. Anyway.
Anybody else want a pat down?
Yeah, that shit was fire. Yeah. But yeah, the show starts off with LA Knight versus Andrade for the U.S. title match, and
Smoker.
Man, they both were working.
Smoker. Look, I'm gonna keep saying it, bro. LA Knight's the biggest star on SmackDown, minus Roman, second.
And Cody. Whoa.
Nope, I got LA Knight over Cody.
His pops are not bigger than Cody.
No.
All right, look, we there's no revisionist history. We all three of us have different opinions of Cody, but what we're not going to do is lie. This man is out here kissing babies. He's getting the biggest pop. It's him and Roman is literally like tied.
I'm saying,
and then you got LA
right now.
Trump is lucky he ain't ran for president because Cody would have won already.
Oh yeah,
that man's a
politician. I'm just saying, Mr. LA Knight, yeah, popping way bigger than your WWE champion. I'm standing on it.
Okay, I mean I will allow you to be wrong for the sake of this podcast because it just makes good radio. I mean, he's the producer. He can be as loud as he wants.
All that. Hell yeah, I'm standing right here.
He controls the volume.
You're not lying.
So I didn't write down too many spots.
No,
there was that one spot that LA Knight, which I stated multiple times, but it was before Mania that I hate that he does a spot, and then all of a sudden he was hitting it every single time. It's like when he runs up to do the suplex or whatever. This time he slipped twice, but that doesn't take away from the match. The match was extremely really good. Andrade's elbow, I really wish he would just switch that to his finisher. That back elbow is
so smooth, bro.
Every single
smooth.
Fucking time.
It looks so dope no matter who you do it to.
It's crisp. Like it pops. It's quick.
It's the best shit. But yeah, Knight retains. Is there anything else you guys want to? I mean, yeah, the match was good. I thought it was a good defense. Andrade looked good. He has a
weird little awkward handshake after.
Yeah, that part was. I don't understand what was.
Oh, fist bump handshake. I don't know, like.
That's LA's thing. He's been fucking up the post match.
Yeah, he's weird with that because there was like that time when him and Cena worked together where it was like
twice he did it with Cena. Yeah, it was like
it was like it's like bro, like your face right now. You know that, right?
Dummy.
I don't know, but see, like the last promo where he's talking about you won the Hit It and Quit It club, and he's coming out like you're not ready for me. He might be leaning more heel than face right now.
If anything, he's a for sure tweener. I would say he's more face though, just because like he's not. He's
booed.
Yeah, no,
he's not getting booed at all.
No, he would have to do something like egregious to get booed.
He would have to like slap Cody.
I don't think that's happening anytime. Yeah,
I mean,
sure, I'm okay with it.
I'm not saying he should. I'm saying close. It would have to be that level for people to start booing him.
Mama Rhodes.
Mama Rhodes.
Yeah.
This blood on this belt is for you, Mama Rhodes.
That's blood on your hands. The Rock's blood.
Rose blood on Johnson's hands. When he said that, I was like, yo, you gotta pause that.
Like, yeah, you gotta chill the fuck out. Speaking of Cody, we get the promo.
DT was about to say something.
Yeah.
Oh, go
ahead. Since Andrade has come back to WWE, he is one of my favorite wrestlers to watch. Everything that he is a part of has been fire.
And the thing is with Andrade, bro, is that it transcends like promotions, right? When he's given the opportunity, he will show out. Mm-hmm. And the thing is, I don't think this is even the best version of him. NXT Andrade was a fucking monster, bro. And I think that like just coming up during the Vince era, Vince is like trying not to give you the push, kind of like deterred his momentum. But had Triple H had been there or had control of when Andrade was coming up, Andrade probably would have had a WWE Championship match. I wouldn't have said he had won, but he would definitely have been like the main title picture at some point. Yeah. Andrade's fucking amazing, bro.
Yeah, he did have a good run, like early COVID. He did have a good run with the United States Championship because him and Ray were putting on some classics.
And the
thing
that
didn't last that long.
Yeah, they did.
And then
they had
Zelina ended up getting split.
That's what it was. Because when you split Zelina from him, just the promo aspect, you couldn't lean into him for like promo segments because back then his English wasn't as good as it was now.
His English still isn't that great.
Let him speak Spanish, bro. Put subtitles on that shit just like they did.
With Shinsuke.
It's a wrap.
Him and Mello are both getting over with just wrestling. And Mello is obviously doing more of the talking, but they're like,
you know what happens when you start wrestling in the people. Who would have fucking thought? World Wrestling Entertainment. When you start wrestling, the shit fucking works.
Spanish flied me to death. I don't care. They could do.
I don't give a fuck. Them motherfuckers is cooking. Like we on Mello Andrade 6 in the WWE. You know how crazy this is? It's just 6 matches of niggas wrestling.
7 games.
I'm cool. And I know I'm getting 7. So I'm Gucci, bro.
Yeah, we
them boys is solid, man. They fucking killing it.
Straight
this Cody Roman promo in the Georgia Tech Arena.
Wait, real quick.
Let's talk about it.
Before that, we get a quick Nia talks to Tiffany. That is what it was. We don't got to dwell into that. But after that, real quick, Carmelo approaches Andrade. After that match.
Yeah.
It cooks him. He's like, hey, man. Hey, like, just fries in the bag, bro. You're washed.
You're washed. It's crazy.
Just fries in the bag, bro. And that turns into a fight. Which is why, we're getting match number 6 next week.
That definitely happened. That was fun.
Right.
That was funny, though.
But then now, after that, we get some cinema. And Lone, take away. But I would like to hear DT speak about it first.
Okay, I'm gonna set you up. So, Cody Roman in the Georgia Tech Arena. Backstory is that Roman has played for Georgia Tech. Football, and Cody is from Atlanta, his home city, home state. It's a battle of turf. So if you would, DT, take us through thoughts.
First and foremost, we have to take a second to thank Sheamus, because without Sheamus, the tribal chief wouldn't even have acknowledged that he played for Georgia Tech. That's number one. I was someone who vehemently hated the idea of these two being paired together. Hero talked about it like, 4 months before it even happened, before it was even on the radar. Oh, will they, won't they? This saved it for me. I'm not gonna lie. Like I said, I reserved the right to hate, but I also reserved the right to change my mind. I think I've been out on Cody for a little bit just because he hasn't had, in my mind, the right opponents, etc. I recognize his importance and where he's at, but for whatever reason, when these two get together, it's like it's magic. It's like oil and vinegar, but it's like magic. There was like hints of facial expressions, tone, demeanor with Cody that let me know that the evil is in there. It's in there, and I want to see it. And when it happens, I might buy an American Nightmare shirt. I'm not lying. like his like telling a nigga that you're not the tribal chief. We already got one of those. You're not a WWE champion. I'm not. This belt is not even yours to take. You're a guy who used to be Roman Reigns. Like, I don't even recognize you. Like, and then to see how desperate, at least in his face, that Roman is in response to what Cody was giving him, I'm excited. I'm excited about it. If I was Cody, I wouldn't trust Roman's word just because he's given his word to a lot of people over the last 4 years. They've all been turned upside down on their head, put to sleep, guillotine, spear, Superman punch, you name it. But I'm very intrigued and I'm on board. I was off, but I'm on board. I'm on board.
I go here. I'm gonna save mine for last.
Okay. Well, I'll keep it short. This shit was cinema, as they say. Bloodline cinema. I forgot who they said it was directed by, but Paul Heyman helped also produce the segment. Roman and Cody both had the same acting coach. They were acting their bag off. I can see an argument to where some people might not like the overproduction of certain things when it comes to like this. But me personally, I like the change of atmosphere to where it's like, yeah, it's two icons. It's your Goku, Vegeta. It's your Superman, Batman, and they're talking on just a random ass football field, but it's not random to them because it means something. And they're having this. It's people were comparing it. I don't know if you guys saw the movie Heat with Al Pacino and Robert De Niro, but they were comparing it to that, and it's like, yes, like it was. It's like it was like a Tarantino like movie where it's because he's so good at like writing dialogue just between two characters. It was just it felt super important. It felt good, and like with all the glitz and glam and extra gaga, it just made it more again like cinematic. It made it feel I don't know it makes it feel different, but I don't know it gave it that MCU feel also where it feels. It makes wrestling also feel more cinematic as a universe. And yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't have the. I can go off of, going on and on about the praise for it, but I heavily enjoyed it. I like the facial cues. I like the words. I like the back and forth. Again, like Roman has not changed character. Like if this was the old days, Roman would be smiling ear to ear, shaking hands and shit. Like he's touching hands, but like he is still himself. But he's a different version of himself. Like this is him like learning to grow. Like he's still in chapter one. Like this shit is going to go on for a while. Like and if you notice, because I didn't, I saw someone talk about it earlier today. Like you notice, like he didn't say they took Jay from me because he already lost Jay. Like that's a whole other battle he still has to do as a character. Like there's a whole other development that had nothing to do with this entire 8-minute segment that he still has to go through. And that is such good writing. And it's, I don't know, I'm going to geek out about it film wise. I don't know. It's just really, I don't know. I fucking love it. I love it. And, I'm excited to see where this goes. I'm excited to see how this branches off. I have a theory to where, honestly, I think the Bloodline is going to go to Raw for Netflix. So I don't think we're going to deal with this wait for too much longer. And they haven't made any of these characters look stupid yet. Like, because if this was Vince era, like I would have been way more on DT's side, where I'm like, I would be more worried about how these two icons are going to interact. But the way that they interacted to me was perfect. It's similar to any anime or comic book or any movie that you've seen. Like usually the rival, you have to team up with your rival at some point, or usually like you guys become friends, or like fucking Magneto and fucking Wolverine team up. Like, shit happens. Like, niggas have to team up at some point to fight a greater evil. And the way that they're doing it and portraying it is coming off very well written to where it's not corny. Roman doesn't seem stupid. Like, you can see some of the desperation, but it's not desperation in a sense to where it's making him look weak. It's like, fuck, I really have to do this because I don't have Jimmy. I don't have anyone else. It's not like the wise man's going to fight. Like, he's the only nigga who's going to fight with me right now because he has a whole he has to make amends to so many other people in this universe, and yeah, it doesn't make Cody look weak to where it's like he's not just doing Captain Sabaho like like what people were claiming Kevin Owens and Randy were doing for him a couple months ago. Like he didn't want to do this, but he also sees the importance of ending this goddamn shit because like it needs to be stopped. Like Fatu is a monster. He needs to be stopped. So I'm gonna stop talking now. I love the segment personally.
Yeah, Lauren, I'm gonna let you go. I have more, but I'm gonna let you do your thing, please.
I hate the way you talk. I hate the way that you dress. I hate it all. All right. If I catch flight, it's gonna be direct, nigga. I hate it all. Actually, I take it back. There are some parts that I do like about this. And more in particular, like it was when Roman was like, he had said something like, "You in a lose-lose situation. You dealing with niggas who got nothing to lose. You know, like you dealing with people who." And Paul Heyman said this. Like he said this when the Bloodline first came. He's like, "You don't know these niggas, bro. Like they don't play by the same rules. Like they don't care about nothing." And so to see Roman kind of like break it down was like, you know, like you say, he did lose Jimmy. You know, like they took Jimmy Wiseman, they took the Bloodline, they took his Ulafala. Like I don't have nothing to lose, and for the first time, there's no weight on my shoulders, right? Like so he's sitting here, he's like,
really like that line.
I loved it. Like that shit was tight to me. What I didn't like, the part, like, it was when Cody was barring him up, because he was like, you know, like he said, like, there was, like, we have a W champion, not you. We have a tribal chief, not you, right? Roman says, well, what do you want from me? And I was like, what the fuck does that mean? Like, what do you, to tell Cody, what do you want me to do? Like, what do you want from me? And I guess, like, that's also character, like, I guess like an insider look at the character, because Roman's never had to decide anything by himself. He's always had wise men there to kind of like make it up for him. He's never had to, like, you know, tell me like what's the plan kind of thing.
I think just to kind of give you a little pushback on that, I think it's not that Roman has never not had to make the decision. It's that he's never been this vulnerable. He's always had protected. No shit. He's always had, you know, like people are. I said old. That's why it was like a pun. But he's always had people around him, or he's always had someone to have his back. And now, in his lowest, most vulnerable moment, he has to, unfortunately, go to. And it's the part that I hated, but go to the person that helped take everything from him. So when he's asking, what do you want from me? He's essentially asking, what is it that you need from me to make this happen so that I can get back to where I want to go to? Not like, oh, what do you want from me?
See, I honestly think you guys are both right. The way I took the line is more like, what do you want out of this? Where it's like, obviously you already signed it.
Okay.
So it's like, so what do you want out of this deal?
What's your skin in the game?
Like
what do you look?
What do you get out of you, quote unquote, helping me? Like, what do you get out of this? Is how I kind of took the line.
But
I
agree.
It
even more grimy. Oh no,
does it? Because it
not personally, but like it makes it more grimy in the aspect of Cody, because it's like he says, "Well, what do you want from me? I want you to give me your word that you'll have my back." Or like, and for Cody to say that, it's like it's a slap in the face to Randy, Roman. You know, it's like you want him to have your back. We have your back. Like, and which ties into what I said last week, is like Cody's involvement in this. Like, what do you get out of this? Nothing. Take your belt and get away from this. Let him get jumped. Like, fucked you over for a year. It took you another year to get it. You owe Roman nothing.
But he's the babyface.
But you want his approval. I want you to be my partner. I want to have your back. I want to see what this feels like, even though I'm already on top.
I don't think that's what he's asking. I think it's like, if I'm helping you, I need your word that you're going to help me.
But like, why does Cody want to help him?
I think it's a situation of wrong place, wrong time. I don't think Roman technically, like, Roman didn't ask for Cody's help. Like, nope. Cody happened to be outside, but he's getting jumped.
And he said he wasn't. He's like, I'm not helping Roman, and walks off, right? I heard it. We talked about last week. He came in and all this. He heard it. He's not helping him. But then in the ring, he signs it.
Roman signed it first.
Okay, yeah. Okay, he signed it second, but like, why? What is your involvement in this?
Because
why do you want to? You had a way out of the fucking bloodline vortex. Why do you want to be back in?
Because if I help you, you owe me. And if you remember, what happened right after WrestleMania on Raw?
The Rock.
Oh, Rock. Yeah.
They had that 20-minute, this is awkward exchange where The Rock said,
let me hold your belt.
Well, yeah, but The Rock even said, hey, you and Roman might be over, but me and you, we're just getting started.
For sure.
Here I am. This is politicking. I'm brokering on common ground. That was another pun I wanted to make. That I'm going to do this for you because your cousins, your family, they tripping. I can't take them on by myself. Every time KO and Randy show up, they getting thrown out like last night's trash. You the only one that seems to have any impact anytime you show up. So this is what I'm going to do for you. I'm going to show up and bring myself to the fight on your behalf. You will have my back when The Rock shows up.
See, I don't even know if it's that deep, because to me it's
that's where I went too.
Okay, well, I mean, and if it does go that way, that works. But also Roman, like, they could have killed him in that cage if Roman never came out. So it could also be a small favor, like a favor for a favor. Like, you help me in this cage, I can help you do this part. But like Cody could still call in that favor also. Or I mean, I don't know.
But it's like, why is the cost of like the Roman favor worth so much to Cody? Like, you could have just had Randy and them come out to help you, right? You know, it could have been like, well, Roman was there, but I have my boys here. I don't need your help. But he's just like, he has to know what this feels like. And I don't know if it's like metaphorical or in a sense to where it's like, you know, he just needs to feel what the biggest energy feels like. But like, I don't know, man. It's very interesting. I don't hate the segment, by the way. I'm just joking. But like, it's a very interesting take on what the fuck, like, where this could have went. Because I never thought they would tag team. I didn't think this was a possibility. Nor would I have ever let this booked it like this. Like, it's all brand new. It's all fresh. I will jump on some people where they're like, yo, this should be nominated for Emmy. I want to punch those people in the throat. But like, it was good, but not Emmy good. Like, that's disrespectful to them motherfuckers. You see Shogun? Like, that's just crazy. Like, it was a very well shot segment. Only thing I didn't like was the background music. I think they could have changed that, but that's just my producer brain working. But like, it didn't fit the intenseness of what that was.
No. My wife was like, this literally reminds me of like watching Euphoria. And I was like, don't compare this to Euphoria, bro. I got upset.
He had a deep sigh. He had a Drake sigh.
I did sigh.
But like, that was my only knock on the segment, was the background music. But other than that, like, it was good. I'm very interested in see where this goes. The final bar though was like, you're in my way in life. Like, shit. If there's never been a bigger statement than that is it. Because like, Roman was on top. If Cody doesn't come to WWE, we might not see Roman drop the belt. He might have broke Hogan's record, you know? And insert Cody versus Seth, and now like, this dude is in your way. He's in your roadblock of finishing your story that you had with The Rock and everything. He's in your way in life. He's stopping your trajectory. Biggest part though was after the promo, we cut to KO watching the promo. So we're looking for a response on how KO feels about it. We don't get that response because he ends up getting attacked by the Bloodline, or interfered by the Bloodline.
Yeah, no, that's after. This the first time he just walks away because Byron.
Yeah, he just watches it. Yeah, I'm putting them together because they all kind of correlate with each other. Or if you want it, we can talk about Vinci and Apollo Crews.
I mean, it was a quick match. It was more competitive, but Apollo wins. They're doing something with the Vinci. I don't know why people are online freaking out about it. It's a story. It's a story.
Yeah, it's a story. I wrote it down as like the humiliation angle, but not in a form of like disrespect, but like it's the humiliation angle of like the guy keeps losing, and we're just going to build a story to like he's getting pissed off that he's losing. He shouldn't be losing like this. I will say you have to be careful with that in WWE though, because of certain characters who don't have like that aura yet, it may fuck up trajectory. Like,
yeah, I mean, I'll keep it a buck. Like sometimes, any company, like you need some enhancement talent. You need jobbers. You need niggas to take pins. Like so, if this doesn't go anywhere, like if this character doesn't lead to a U.S. title run in a year, it's fine. It's not gonna, because some people need to take losses. We need people to take pins. And
but you don't spend money on vignettes for him to be like the jobber that we were watching Vinci vignettes for 3 weeks, 4 weeks.
That's what he got.
We was calling Mr. 305, you know.
I mean, I don't think that's the route that they're going to do. I still believe this is part of the story, but I'm just saying overall, as an umbrella term, like, you know, we need people to lose matches sometimes, guys. Like it's okay. Like people got to eat pins for people to make other people look strong. Like
go get Tozawa. Let him take the pin. Like, you know,
he's on another show, and he did take a pin. America May just whooped their ass like 2 weeks ago.
I hate that name, but yeah, like, I get it. The story is there is a story being told between Apollo Crews and Vinci. You also don't want to kill Apollo Crews' momentum because he's been doing good shit with Corbin. I also get that as well. But like I said, you have to be careful. Like we got people invested. We were watching the fancy cars, the fucking outtakes and all that, especially when WWE is such a story cinema base. Like, you got all these dope visuals and you come out losing and you're like, okay, well, shit. Now I just got fucking Stone Cold and fucking Gucci over here. Like,
yeah, it's one of those things though, because it's like either he fights like local enhancement talent and we just get like some small squash matches or some shit, or like who else on SmackDown is there to like take jobs and pins for it? Otherwise, it would have been Apollo.
Humberto nigga, let him take one of the LWO niggas. Like, it ain't gotta be like.
But then he has to feud with a gang because that's gang warfare you're talking about right there.
Everybody in gang in WWE, it's cool. Like, you can still get one off and get jumped the next week. I don't know, but like
the other side of the coin is like Gio is pinning Apollo twice in a week, and then people are saying that emasculating black men or blah blah or any other narrative that they want to spin. So like there's no winning here. It seems like a catch-22 at this point.
It is.
The comparison that I'm gonna make, I might have forgot, but this is kind of the same thing that happened with Michin when she came back. She lost a bunch of matches. She even cut promos backstage about how much stuff got to change and all this other stuff. It takes time. Like, just because you go get a Gucci belt, little Gucci jacket, you got the Ferrari, you still have to get people invested. So you can call this a humiliation angle, but like this is the same.
People are still not invested in Michin though. Like that's where like that.
They way more than last year. Absolutely.
Now it took fucking 6 months to get there.
Because it takes time to build people.
Yeah, you got to build it. They had to put her in different storylines, different people. She had to keep losing. She had to go to NXT, do a bunch of street fights, come back. She's interjecting herself in Bayley and Naomi and Nia Jax. And now, like, people are like, okay, mid-card, get her a title. She's wrestled. We've seen her do it. We've seen her cut promos. She's ready. He gotta eat a little bit. He gotta eat a couple pins.
Yeah, and it's
still a story. He's still being used in a story too. This is not like he's just taking random losses.
Right. And to be fair, his character isn't that much different. Like DT said, like he as far as I'm concerned, he's still the same nigga in Imperium that was taking pins. The only difference is that he has a Gucci belt.
Though. That's so bad. Because it's like you're still the same nigga from when you left. You just put on, like, say, a Gucci belt. Like, that's bad, bro.
And now he's going to freak out probably.
That's so bad. I came back. I spent 6 months ago. I got toned up. I spent a lot of money. I'm still taking losses. Like, that's bad, man.
He could spin into psychosis. It could change his whole character outlook. He might only be Gucci Vinci for like another month. And he keep taking these L's. He get mad and like, fuck all the foo-foo luxurious
But then we did that. We did that with Corbin. When Corbin like was bad with no money. Corbin when he was just bald and like had the hair on the side. Like we seen what that looked like. Like you got to be careful how you do that because Corbin came back, but Corbin also went to NXT and like it took him a minute to like get his shit back off. But like, and that's what I mean is like you got to be careful when you develop into like the losing storylines in WWE because the connection with the fans may drop. Not saying like, they're at that point, but Vinci don't got no aura. He ain't got no big pop. He ain't got no CM Punk pop. He got no Seth pop. Like,
he could be the Ted DiBiase. Get him a $1 million belt.
And a black man. We already got that. So that's what we're saying here. Oh, so Apollo Crews is the black man to Vinci. I see what the fuck's going on. Hey, next segment, nigga.
Yeah, so Byron asked KO to speak about it again, and KO says he'll just talk about it in the ring. And before he really gets to say any shit off, Tama Tonga and the rest of the Bloodline come out, and he's doing a damn
I don't like that. I don't like that.
And then he actually starts speaking. He doesn't really say much of anything. They start attacking KO. DIY comes out. Aldis then comes out, sets up a 6-man tag. Holla Holla Playa for the main event. And then after that, we pretty much get into the next segment.
So, with this, like, because DIY comes out to, like, help them. And maybe I missed something. Did DIY get fucked up, like, really bad in this? Like
later in the show. Yeah, later in the show.
Okay, that I definitely missed that thing. Because I was like, when I was watching the main event, I was like, I thought it was DIY, but Prophet is here. Next match is Nia Tiffy versus Naomi and Bayley. The stipulation for this was that whoever gets the pin out of Naomi and Bayley ends up getting the title shot at Bad Blood, and the other would have to leave SmackDown.
If the baby faces, one of the baby faces got pinned, they have to leave the show. If one of the baby faces get the pin, they get the title match.
Okay. Gotcha. Thoughts? How do we feel?
To me, it was a good. Liked it. It was a cool match. It was a good match. I like that they changed it to a tornado tag earlier in the show or early in the day because it made way more sense. Where like it's like thank you for making wrestling make sense because at first it did not make any sense. Tornado tag was dope. We get a interesting ending, which sets up something for next week, which is cool. But yeah, I thought it was a good match. All 4 women looked good to me. In ring and out. It was good.
What I liked was the storytelling in ring where like I believe Bayley had went for a pin and Naomi like pulls her off the pin. And it's like the look of like, fuck, you my friend and like I like you, but I also want this opportunity. Like it sucks that like we gotta do it this way, but I can't let you get this. I need this one. And this also piggybacks off of like, when Naomi came back and the outcry was that she doesn't get like opportunities, like they better not squash her like they did before, especially coming off the run that Naomi had in TNA where she was the champion. So it's going to be interesting to see how next week plays out. I know that there's a lot of people watching. I would love to see Naomi get the shot against Nia. Like I think that'd be a great fucking match. But then also rerunning it with Bayley's cool too. So, spoiler alert, because of the interesting pin, we get Bayley versus Naomi next week. Winner goes to face Nia at Bad Blood. Which I think is fine. I think for story is gonna be great because they both didn't look like they wanted to fight each other, as best friends would. I just think what was the point of making this whole stipulation thing? Was it just to get us invested to tune in? Because now it feels like it was just a wash if it was going to end up in a double pin.
It was a good invested because honestly, it could have went any way. Like this was the one of those matches. Honestly, this was a match that it could have went any way. Like Nia or Naomi could have got pinned and went to Raw, or Bayley could have got pinned and went to Raw. It could have been extremely surprising. For it to end the way that it did, I can see that argument where it's like, I mean, did we really have to do all this? But they need to kill some time because Bad Blood is in 2 more weeks or 1 more week after this, or so they needed to kill some time. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if Tiff or Nia comes out next week and attacks him anyway. And we still get a triple threat or some bullshit. But yeah, I mean, I was fine with it. It was a good ass. To me, it was a good match. To where it, I don't really have much to nitpick off of.
All right, cool. It looks like after that we get the Chelsea Green Meech and Trash promo, which was very creative. It also felt very NXT to me. Like it felt like it was shot with the same camera that they do in NXT. It was a very funny promo. I enjoyed it. Chelsea Green's in a very interesting spot to where she's not wrestling every week, but she's still very important. Like you're not in the ring at all, but your vignettes and what you do, your backstage promos is like a piece of the story that's being told here. We also get the confirmation of Andrade versus Melo 6, which we had already talked about. And then we get into the main event. KO versus the Prophet, or KO and the Prophets versus the Bloodline. Once again, Bloodline Vortex. Here are the Prophets. No tag team gold in sight. Them boys is nice too. Montez had a dope ass crossbody in this match. Like, boy is fucking good. And we already know about Dawkins. We get Dawkins praise almost every goddamn episode.
Yeah, I tried to. I'm sick of the Genetti allegations.
Yeah, that's far from it.
I want more for the both of them. I really do.
And so do I. We've been said that we thought they were next up to get the tag belts before the Bloodline came in and got the belts because we didn't feel like the Bloodline needed the belts. They still don't need the belts.
Still don't. Nor Judgment Day.
Nope.
What was the purpose of separating them just for the belts to end up in the same fucking factions? Like, it doesn't make any sense to me.
Sometimes you just trust talent more. They could just be trusted. It's literally that.
Right, and the tag division on both shows, they need to be built up, which is why I'm like pro Baron and Apollo, slash bringing in Lucha Bros and whatever
Motor City.
else they want to
yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
it was a good match, man. We're just very disappointed with the Profits being used the way they are. Or at least I'm disappointed. I can't speak on them, but I'm just a little disappointed with how they're being used.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because it's like if they don't get the push that everybody else benefited from, them allegations gonna start. They already started, but they're gonna start even more. Because they definitely deserve it. Them boys they kill it night in, night out, bro. Like I don't know what you want from them. And it looks like they are next in line to like challenge the Bloodline for the tag belts. I just don't know if they're going to win. And I think it looks better now that Jacob Fatu does not have one of the tag belts, because if Jacob had the goddamn belt, they definitely not fucking winning. No fucking way. But I do see them beating Tama and Tonga at some point. I just don't know where that is or when that happens. Because we haven't had a tag team title defended on the pay-per-view since what?
Backlash?
Shit, a male's title match defended?
Yeah, like was it?
No,
I don't know.
That's tough.
Yeah,
it's weird. 9 months in, or
I'm gonna say Mania.
And that
5
was
months
the
in.
belts. That was splitting them. Because then it was Awesome Truth, and then A-Town Down Under.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
That's tough, bro.
Yeah, no.
Like that's fucking tough. The next PLE got to have some kind of tag team title defense. At least from the SmackDown side of it. We just got the Raw side, this week. But even then, like shit, bro. Like that was the first time defending. So we need to have that happen. You have Profits and you have Bloodline. Don't give me, you don't have the teams to do it because you definitely have it right there. Put them on the fucking PLE.
Yep.
That's how I feel.
Or get off them after Bad Blood.
Get them off somehow, some way. Yeah. I thought the tag team division was looking good. It was like you had the big strong boys before what's his face got injured. Forgot his name. He was with Pete.
Oh, Tyler Bate.
Yeah, before Bates got injured. You got DIY who had a phenomenal build up but got their shit squashed off. You have Profits, so you have some feuds that you can run there. You could run DIY and Profits. I'm good. Like, yeah.
But yeah, the match ends in a DQ, and then the Bloodline pretty much destroys everybody. DIY even comes back out. They destroy them. It's literally only Cody that is the small equalizer, and that's because he brings a chair. And then we get we get another tease with Kevin possibly having some moral dilemma and maybe going heel. He doesn't, but we get another good tease. Which
I dropped that nigga too for treasonous behavior, siding with the ops. They got knocked you out.
Yeah, but I mean that was SmackDown, and I would say a pretty good SmackDown too. I would say just overall a good week for both those shows, and Dynamite wasn't bad either. So
I have nothing bad to say about the week. It's been good. With that being said, y'all, we're gonna get out of here. That's the show. For next week's episode, it should be the same thing. Be Raw, Grand Slam, SmackDown, and then the week following that, I believe it's Bad Blood. So we definitely got a lot to catch up on, a lot of wrestling to talk about. Once again, shout out to all the listeners. YouTube, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Thank y'all for tuning in. But it's been real. We're gonna get out of here. Everybody gonna say the goodbyes. Shout out to y'all. I'm out. This is Jay. Peace out. DT, you gonna do your little outro? Like, you got anything to say?
Yes, sir. Appreciate y'all for listening. Want to thank Hero and Jay for having me back. Secondarily, acknowledge your tribal chief. That's not me, but when you see him, acknowledge him. Throw the ones up.
Too sweet.